On the air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go Show. And now here's your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
.607 on the Get Up and Go Show. It's Monday. We're back in the saddle. And, of course, Fredo and the Shy Guys here nice and early this morning. Glad to see they showed up on time for a change. Bonnie, good morning. How are you? How was your weekend?
Very excellent. Thank you very much, Evan. Was a gorgeous Saturday.
Mm-hmm.
You know, yesterday was good. You can't complain, and hope everybody had a nice weekend, too.
Yeah, definitely so. Phil, good morning. How are you today, sir?
Good morning.
How you doing?
I am doing pretty darn good this morning.
All right, very good. Fredo, good morning to you. How you doing, young man?
Yeah, man. How you doing?
I'm good. How was your weekend, Fredo?
It was good, man.
Hey,
Had
listen.
A barbecue.
Yeah, I know, man. You were hanging out at the party with us. I saw you sitting in the corner. You were drinking a couple of beers and having a good time. I saw a couple of ladies were hanging out with you. You know, you're the ladies' man, so you know what's up with that.
Yeah.
Who are the girls?
Man, I had a girl named Sondra. She was pretty.
Mm-hmm.
She's a librarian.
Mm-hmm. Okay, very good. And Phil, I had a great conversation with Marcel, hanging out with Marcel at our little get together over the weekend.
Yes. Good old Marcel. Yeah, he has lots of knowledge.
Yeah, lots of knowledge.
Lots of knowledge.
And you know, to this day, he still calls me Evans.
Evans.
Yes, he calls me Evans. He doesn't call me Evan. He calls me Evans, Bonnie.
That's almost
Evans.
like he's thinking of you like a little boy. Did your grandma or your grandpa call you that, little Evans?
Not at all. Just it's always Evans with an S. That's just it's. I don't know what nationality he is or what his heritage is, or where the accent comes from, because it's kind of like it's like an Italian, Spanish. I don't know what it is.
Well, he's French, really.
Is he?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
I had no idea.
You didn't know?
No, I had no idea he was French.
Yeah, he's French.
I'm glad I didn't say that voulez-vous coucher line or something like that to him. I just wouldn't have went over too good.
Yeah. But yeah, he's born right out of France, man.
Okay.
And then he lived in South America for a portion of his childhood during during World War II. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
All right.
Yeah.
Bonnie, how was your weekend? What'd you do this weekend?
I got a lot of sun and surf. Went to the ocean, went swimming at the beach, and following that, went to a little pool party myself at the sister-in-law's,
Oh,
where we got to swim in her pool again. So
nice.
it was
Ooh.
really refreshing.
Very good.
And, you know, there's something to wearing that sunscreen, too,
Mhm.
because I put the 70 proof all over Jaden.
70 proof. That's alcohol. How could you put alcohol on a child?
They're
Shame
doing
on
shots
you.
of it.
It was
Wow.
70 SPF.
There
I
you
guess.
go. That's better. God, you know, don't say 70 proof, because the listeners are going to start to wonder, wow, she's giving alcohol to a minor.
But you know how fascinating this is and how I found how great this stuff works.
Tell me.
So I put it on my legs and my face, my chest, my arms. The only thing I missed on myself was my own shoulder blades in the back.
Okay.
So I'm sitting there last
Should
night.
have Gary do it for you.
I know he wasn't there though. It was just Jaden and I.
Okay.
And so watching a little TV last night, I felt that sunburn in my shoulder blades.
Really?
The only place I didn't put the 70 SPF sunscreen.
And there was nobody there that could I don't even know what you would call it. Put the stuff on your back.
I guess I could have done it myself or asked Jaden to put a little bit there, but I had just forgotten. I was
Okay.
just thinking of important areas like our cheeks,
Yeah.
you know, above that delicate eye area
Mhm.
and
Mhm.
on your quads when you're, you know, laying face up at the beach, your quads get very sunburnt and
Yeah.
pink.
Got to be careful too if you're laying face down and up in the sun, depending on what kind of bathing suit you're wearing. Your gluteus maximus can get a little burned, and then you have a
That's
real
a big
pain in
word
the
for this
arse.
show.
Yeah, yeah, that's a gluteus maximus. Well, I didn't want to say arse, you know, so I just,
did.
Yeah, but I'm saying arse. I'm not saying the other word. I'm saying arse. That's what they say in Ireland.
But yeah, one should put a little bit of sunscreen there too.
Yeah.
On the glutes. Yeah.
Definitely so.
Especially some of the suits I saw these women wearing. I'm wondering if I could get away with it. And then I think,
Sure, you can.
Maybe I don't want to.
Sure, you can. You get away with Bonnie. You're Bonnie. You can get away with anything.
Yeah,
Just remember
right?
that you're Bonnie Ashland.
I
You
have
can
to
get away with anything.
Kind of remember my age.
Age is only a number.
My limitations.
Hey,
I think you're like 25 or 30, Bonnie.
I wore a Speedo to Phil's this weekend.
Oh my.
Yes, you
I
did.
had
Yeah,
a Speedo on.
it looked like a woolly mammoth in a rubber band.
Yeah.
Did everybody put their sunglasses on as
No.
Evans went out to the pool?
No, Marcel looked at me like, okay. And Marcel says, maybe I could wear one of those.
He said Evans.
Yeah, I said, Evans. He says, what's that, Evans? I'm like, that's my Speedo.
I love that.
I'm like, okay. all right.
Actually, we talked about Marcel's Speedo too,
Yeah.
didn't we?
Yeah, we
yes,
did.
he has a Speedo
Yeah,
too.
Marcel has a Speedo.
Does he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What
He said,
color?
I don't wear it anymore though.
Marcel's is hot pink. Yeah, he's got a hot pink Speedo. So anyway, so Gavin went to the beach. My son went to the beach over the weekend with some of his friends, and he came back, and it was really his first experience, I guess, going in the ocean. He didn't really venture out too far.
Yeah.
So he gets home, he goes, I put sunscreen on, but I didn't do it on my shoulders. So later on that night, he came home, and after work, his shoulders were really hurting. So of course, Rachel, we didn't have any aloe in the house.
Oh, that works well too.
So she gets out the gallon of vinegar and
Right.
puts vinegar on his shoulders, which is supposed to, help with the sunburn.
Yeah.
So then I'm getting ready to come to bed about 10 o'clock on Saturday night, and there's this stench smell in my bedroom, and it's vinegar. And I couldn't figure out what it was at first. And I said, Rachel, what the heck is that stink in the bedroom? And she goes, what stink? And I'm like, the stink that stinks. And the stink that stinks. She goes, I don't know what you're talking about. I'm like, it smells like vinegar. She goes, oh yeah, that. Yeah, I put some on Gavin's shoulders.
Well, that's vinegar is a good kind of
but
smell,
come
though.
on, in the bedroom,
people
no.
actually clean with it, with
I wanted
vinegar.
to vomit.
But
It
I don't
was
know what
awful.
that vinegar odor would be if you mix it with the vinegar with body odor. But it makes like a clean smell if you
It
kind
was
of clean with it.
It was awful.
Yeah.
I couldn't go to
Wow.
sleep. So you know what I did? I got the Febreze spray bottle out and I started Febrezing, and I even Febrezed my wife.
Oh,
She was laying in bed, and
Last time I Febrezed the wife, she divorced me.
she was laying in bed, and I was Febrezing the carpet, and in the bathroom. And she goes, "Well, I put the vinegar on in the bathroom." I'm like, "Well, it doesn't smell like it. It stinks out here in the bedroom." So I Febrezed the carpet, Febrezed the dog cage, Febrezed my dad's chair that's in the bedroom. And then I'm starting to Febreze the comforter, and she's laying on the other side. So I just nonchalantly, without her looking, did pss, pss, just like that as she's laying there, and it just went on her. She goes, "Why are you Febrezing me? You trying to throw a hint at me or something?" I'm like, "No, you don't stank or nothing,
I like that
Stank.
fresh linen smell.
That's the one we used.
Okay.
That's the one I have."
Yeah, that's perfect. Oh, I have Febreze fresh linen at home too. Come to think of it,
See this can of Lysol right here?
Mhm.
Crisp linen scent.
That's the
There
best.
you go.
Here, hold on. Wait. Did you?
No, that's-
Phil, did you hear that?
Yeah, I heard.
Hold on, do it again. Ready? There you go.
Now, Evan, I showered this morning,
Ooh.
so
Oh, I just tasted it.
Ah.
Disgusting.
Well, you're clean. You're clean inside and out now.
Yeah, exactly.
Gavin would need a lot of sunscreen. I hope he wore.
Yeah.
He should get the
Yeah, he
70
did.
SPF because
Oh man, I think I sprayed too much. But it does smell good, though, doesn't it?
I like to smell it but not taste it. When
Yeah.
I taste it, now that's a different. Woo!
Yeah, that just. Man, excuse me, I got to drink a little orange juice here. Yeah, we're having a problem. Body's covering our nose.
This is
over there.
okay. Phil, I got to tell you, I told Evan this before too. Sometimes,
Yeah.
like at work in the break room, I like to have a little drinking cup of water
Oh, man.
in our work plastic cups.
Yeah.
Okay, so it's kind of like somebody put all clear detergent, the liquid stuff, which is into
clear.
the plastic cup, and
Yeah.
I thought it was my water, so I took a drink of it.
Oh,
Wow.
The funny thing
Nasty.
Well,
about
your
it,
mouth is clean now.
but when what's weird about it, they said it is clear, and it even tasted clear. You know, I could taste that
How
gel.
does clear taste? That's what I wonder.
yeah, exactly.
It wasn't that bad. You know, it could have been a lot worse with a big odor. That's why when they make those laundry soaps that say they're clear, they're pretty clear.
Disclaimer, folks, don't try this at home, please. Don't
I
drink
had
detergent.
an uncle one time. He wasn't exactly the smartest guy, I guess. My mother told me the story. Apparently, that the cat was like infested with like fleas and ticks, and didn't know what to do, so he sprayed the cat with Raid.
Oh no!
What?
Oh,
sprayed the cat with Raid all over its fur and everything. Well, everything died, but then the cat started like vomiting left and right.
No.
I'm like, wow, that cat was clean inside and
because
out.
the cat licked itself because cats clean themselves that way.
Yeah, it was just stupid.
I talked to a vet tech over the weekend, and she told me that the best thing for fleas on your cat or dog is to wash them in Dawn dish soap.
Really?
Yeah. She said that the Dawn dish soaps just kills the fleas on tact.
I'll just toss my dog in the sink when I'm doing my dishes. That's all.
That's a good idea.
Double standard.
That would do it.
But hey, Bonnie, Evan really got to know Snowy, my dog, my daughter's puppy.
Yeah, we had visits with Snowy. Snowy went for a ride on a raft and was on a remote island while we were at the palatial Benfield Palace.
Snowy's not afraid of the water then. Oh, wow.
No, yes and no. She doesn't like going into the pool so much, but she got on this big raft and she just sits there and she just floats around.
Yeah, she just floats around, hang out on the raft.
Did you do some Facebook posts of the party? Any Facebook posts?
No, because we don't want people to see what we did. And
when we buried the body,
and also, Fredo does not like to have his picture publicly posted. Fredo, why don't you like your picture posted? By the way,
because I would have too many ladies come knocking on my door when they see my beautiful body and my beautiful face.
Oh my goodness!
Good gosh!
Did the ladies at the party with Fredo resemble the girls at Fast Times at Ridgemont High hanging out with Spicoli, all over Spicoli?
Ask Fredo; he'll answer.
So, Fredo, how hot were the babes?
Oh, the babes, man, they were just beautiful. They were hot, and I don't bring no ugly chicks to no party.
All right.
There is no ugly chicks. What are you saying? All ladies are beautiful.
Ladies are not chicks, though, because chicks are chickens and they cluck. So I don't refer to girls as chicks.
I think he was talking about when he was on a farm or something.
All right.
Those little chicks are cute when they're little and fuzzy and furry and yellow on the farm. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man.
All right, we just killed like 15 minutes of talking about nothing. It was awesome.
Literally, it was nothing. But now we have something to talk about.
We wanted to learn.
Yeah, well, now we have something to talk about. It's news time. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie is standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. Thousands of people came out Sunday across the state of Florida to celebrate Flag Day and President Trump's 74th birthday. In Palm Beach County, there were parades of boats, trucks, and motorcycles. It was an event not just on the water or on the street, but also up in the skies. In Jupiter, several boats gathered at the inlet before heading south along the intercoastal to Mar-a-Lago. The University of Florida has rescinded an admission offer to a prospective student who posted a racial comment on social media. Florida's flagship university tweeted earlier this week that the prospective student will not be joining the University of Florida community this fall. The Gainesville Sun reports the source of the admissions offer being rescinded was an Instagram post at Cape Coral, Florida, student made about 2 years ago. She posted a photo that referred to two Black girls in her class with the caption, "I really try so hard not to be a racist person, but I most definitely am. There's no denying it." Last week, the school says it was looking into posts from other students. And summer camps are on the minds of many parents as they begin to head back to work. Starting Monday, the Boys and Girls Club of Martin County will be opening a new location to be able to cater to more families. More than 40,000 cruise ship workers are still stuck at sea because of concerns about coronavirus. The Miami Herald reports that at least 42,000 workers remain trapped on cruise ships without paychecks. Some are still suffering from COVID-19 3 months after the industry shut down. Cruise lines stopped sailing in mid-March after several high-profile outbreaks at sea. More than 600 people fell ill aboard Cape Core's Diamond Princess while it was quarantined off the coast of Japan. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control has prohibited cruises in U.S. waters through July 24. Some cruise ship workers have started being repatriated to their home countries. Lastly, Hendry County deputies are investigating the fatal shooting of a Florida wildlife conservation officer. Deputies responded to the area of Apache Circle and Nobles Road in the early morning hours of Sunday, June 14, to reports of someone being shot. They found 30-year-old FWC officer Julian Keene Jr. had been fatally shot. Keene was off duty at the time of the shooting. The Hendry County Sheriff's Office Major Crimes Unit is leading the homicide investigation with assistance from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Investigators currently have 3 suspects in custody and are questioning them at this time. Anyone with information on the crime can contact Hendry County Sheriff's Office Major Crimes Unit at 863-674-0406. The Major League Baseball's association has rejected the league's latest proposal to resume the season and does not plan to submit a counteroffer. The union announced this on Saturday. On Friday, Major League Baseball submitted its latest proposal. That included a 72-game season to begin on July 14, with 70% prorated salaries for the regular season and 80% if the postseason is completed. News Time 6:23. Our weather and traffic together are next.
$6:24 the time on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. All brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, no accidents to report on this Monday. It's a smooth ride throughout the entire Treasure Coast at the moment, and there's your latest look at traffic. It's 74 in Stewart and 73 in Port St. Lucie. Here's more on our forecast at WPTV.
It is a warm and humid morning here on the Treasure Coast with a few showers and thunderstorms possible mainly near the coast. This afternoon, scattered showers and thunderstorms are possible with higher rain chances closer to the coast. Any thunderstorm that develops could be strong and some rainfall could be heavy. High temperatures will reach the mid to upper 80s with increasing clouds during the afternoon and light winds out of the southeast. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
The Get Up and Go Show would love to hear from you live on the air. Give us a call at any time. Now let's get back to the program. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
Today is Monday. Today is Monday.
Everybody hates Monday mornings.
Monday. I don't like Mondays. Tell me why. Mondays. I'm having a case of Mondays. Rainy days and Mondays always get me down. Just another manic Monday. Monday is my favorite time of year.
$6:28 on the Get Up and Go Show. It's Evan and Bonnie. Phil and Fredo's here. Phil and Fredo. That has a ring to it, doesn't it?
It sure does.
Oh, like a
Phil and
sub-place.
Fredo.
Almost like Phil's a part of the band.
Yeah. Yeah. Wow.
That little montage of Mondays, all of a sudden it made Monday feel so much better for me, Evan.
Did it?
Yeah.
Did nothing for me.
No,
Sorry.
No.
I was loving all of those Monday songs.
I'd rather be sitting poolside at Phil's house.
What kind of music did you jam to when you were
Nothing.
there?
It was
Nothing.
silence.
Really?
We were all talking, and that was
Yeah,
it.
the
you know?
girls were doing one thing. Rachel and Veronique and the neighbor. What was that very nice lady's name?
What's her name?
Lady next door to you. We'll just call her the lady next door.
Christina. That's Christina.
Yeah, we'll call her the lady next door. Like the old man down the road, she's the lady next door. Maybe we can add her to the cast of characters.
Did she bring potato salad or anything?
But I will tell you what she did bring. She brought this corn casserole.
Yes.
That I had no idea what it was until I tried it, and it was like wowza. So we got some sent home with us, some of the leftovers, in a red Solo cup, which I thought was hilarious. Got sent home with us in a red Solo cup.
Those red Solo cups, hey, they're great.
Covered with tin foil.
They can be used for so many things.
I'm like, that is so original.
Yeah.
Did you have that corn casserole yesterday?
No, the wife ate it. I did not have a chance to.
So
didn't
she
get any
dug
of it.
into it before you could get all
the
of
wife devoted it big time.
Did you get the recipe for us?
Phil, can we call her right? Can we call her right now?
Yeah.
Is
You
she
have her
awake?
number, right?
No, is she awake?
She might be, yeah. Hang on here.
That would be hateful.
Because you know what?
Text me the number.
In the spirit
yeah.
of things with summertime, folks might love to hear a new recipe, for a side while you're grilling or to bring to a party in the summer.
Mm-hmm.
That would be terrific. I would love to get the recipe.
It's really good. What was her first name
All right,
again?
just Christina.
All right. So
You want to call the mobile number?
Why? What happens if I call the home?
It doesn't exist. I need to take it out.
Oh,
So,
okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right.
And Bonnie, her husband is a rocket scientist.
Really?
I'm
Legit.
being serious. Yeah.
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 Does he work for NASA?
No.
All right, here we go. We're calling Christina
company out in Jupiter Farms.
live on the air.
Beautiful.
This is like live. I love calling people live. If
Yeah.
I wake her, she's going to be so mad.
No, she has to go to work, I think.
Okay. All right. Let's see. There's 2 rings. There's 3 rings. Good morning. Is this Christina? Good morning, Christina. You're on the radio show with me, Phil, and Bonnie. It's Evan.
It's early. I have to go take a shower.
But I wanted to thank you for that great corn casserole. I had to call you live on the radio and tell you your corn casserole was amazing.
And don't blame Evan and Phil. It was my idea to kind of get a hold of you this morning. We wanted to reach you about your awesome recipe at the party over the weekend with the corn.
It was really good, I
Okay.
must say.
Well, thank you. I'm glad you liked it.
No problem. I'll let you go get ready. I feel really bad right now.
No.
Actually, I don't, but that's okay. But anyway, you're coming to our house for the next party, just so you know.
Okay.
All right.
Thanks.
Have a great
All right.
morning.
You too. Bye.
Bye. Oh man, I just ticked off somebody this
She
morning.
probably doesn't appreciate
I'm
us
in trouble
right now.
Phil, you are in so much trouble right now.
I appreciate her though, because we have to understand that we radio people,
Yeah.
we're just naturally up and wanting to talk to
no.
everybody at this
Yeah.
part of the morning. So, maybe by noon she'll be forgiving us.
I think I just heard Veronique's phone go off with a text message with a couple of expletives. Is that the right? Word.
It's possible. I'm gonna get in
man.
trouble now.
Wow.
Oh,
You're in the
man.
doghouse. You are so in the doghouse right
She
now.
did
Phil.
not want to talk.
No. She did not, and she probably hates me right about now.
Oh no.
She
But
don't
that's
want
all
to
right.
talk to you. Ain't gonna come over your house.
No, definitely not. But it's time for a segment we call Viral Videos. And boy, do I have a really good one for you guys. There's a video that went viral over the weekend. I can't play it because it's laced with F-bombs. But a woman named Lauren Balsamo recently had a meltdown in a New York City bagel shop after another customer complained that she was coughing while not covering her mouth and she wasn't wearing a mask. Okay, but here's where it gets real interesting. Lauren started calling the other customer names and then went over and purposely coughed in her direction. Okay, she went over and coughed in her direction. Okay, but the payback is the look on Lauren's face when she noticed a third person filming the whole thing. And it made it on social media and it's blowing up everywhere.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
When I don't know the legality of this whole thing, but when you're seen swearing like that and
Mhm.
acting like you don't normally want to act,
Mhm.
do you have a legality to put a stop to that and somebody spreading the video?
No, you don't, unfortunately.
Yeah.
In today's society, unfortunately, no.
You can have it taken down.
Yeah,
but
you can have it taken
can't.
down, but it would cost you a lot of money to get the video taken down. It would.
Mhm.
It definitely would.
Because I did listen to the video from this and they were really cussing and saying some nasty words in there.
Yeah, they were using some slang lingo, so to speak, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah. Fortunately, I haven't seen anybody get into any fights or situations about a mask or not wearing a mask around here.
Mm-hmm.
And, I go to both counties every day too. And, I travel and I fortunately, I haven't seen that sort of thing
Yeah,
here.
now our radio studio is a no mask zone because you and I are the only ones in here, and then Frank is in here in the afternoons.
Yeah.
And we wipe up after each other. But when we do have somebody come in, I'm not going to say names or anything like that, but when we do have other people come in and they bring guests, they are required to wear a mask, and then I will wear a mask as well, just because I don't know where those people have been or who they're hanging around with, the company they keep.
Yeah.
And I don't say it in a bad way.
And
it's
that
just prevention.
And that at my other job, I have to wear a mask.
Yeah, it's mandatory.
I'm required to wear it. Yeah.
Mandatory.
And you know what? I'm not minding it as much as I thought I would.
Once you get used to it, it's part of your everyday attire. It's like your uniform.
Yeah.
Really light and breathable. And
My wife wears one. She has to wear one where she works.
Is she okay
at the,
with it?
at the school?
Is
Yeah,
it
she's
comfortable?
fine. Yeah, she's fine. She's fine with it. We've gotten accustomed to it. Now, it's funny because, the folks over in China, they've been wearing masks for years.
Oh,
Literally.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
natural. It's a natural thing.
Well, they're also overpopulated there too.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's a natural thing.
Yeah.
Definitely a natural thing. Time to play a round of Would You Rather. Real simple how it works. I'm going to read you two things, and you have to just tell me, would you rather do this or would you rather do that? And I'll play along too.
You'll chime in too.
Yeah, I'll chime in. I'll chime in. So
I'm digging this music, man.
Well, you thank Fredo and the Shy Guys. This is one of their latest pieces. They kind of got a little hip on us. So, Phil, we'll start with you first. Would you rather drink a gallon of hot dog water or a glass of someone else's sweat?
Oh, hot dog water, because I do that daily, actually.
Yeah, hot dog water's fine. Yeah.
Actually, I like to wash up in that hot dog water at the hot dog stand,
Now, it's not hot dog. It's just you may be thinking of this wrong. It's not hot dog water. It's hot as in warm dog water. Warm dog water.
Oh, warm dog. Oh, that my dog bathed in.
No, just warm dog water that's been sitting in the bowl.
Oh.
Yeah. So would you rather drink a gallon of warm dog water or a glass of someone else's sweat?
Dog water.
Yeah, I'll
easily.
take dog water.
Me
Bonnie?
too. The dog water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Phil, would you rather have your eyes always moving as if watching a tennis match back and forth, or be forced to use only one scent of cologne, bacon and herb?
Bacon and herb?
Yeah, bacon and herb.
I'll take the bacon.
Yeah, I'll take the
At least
bacon.
at least you can smell good.
Yeah, it's
you
true.
know.
Bonnie?
I'll do the my eyes moving back and forth because I tend to do that on a regular basis anyway.
Really?
It's like
Okay.
no one time
It's the new normal for you.
they tried to put me in a TV commercial one time, and you had to have your eyes set on the wordage.
Yeah.
No, but it didn't work. It's my eyes were all over the place, so they had to put sunglasses on me.
Okay.
It's
All right,
true.
Phil, would you rather have hundreds of fair weather friends or have only one trusting and loyal friend?
One trusting and loyal friend.
Yeah, I'll take that one trusting and loyal friend any day of the week. Bonnie?
You betcha. You better. You bet.
Yeah, one
Yeah.
trusting friend.
Yeah.
Okay. Phil, would you rather live next door to a maximum security prison or next door to an all nude strip club?
All new strip club. At least
I
there's
knew you
something to
were
look
going.
at.
I knew you
Yeah.
were going there.
Well,
I'm
wouldn't you?
gonna be. Well, I don't know. I'm
I
gonna be.
don't know.
I'm gonna be adventurous just because if I've got little kids, I wouldn't want to be next door to an all nude strip club. So I'll take the maximum security prison because it's pretty solid security. Bonnie?
I think I'm gonna go with that maximum security prison as well.
Yeah, wouldn't want Gary looking in, right?
Yeah, I would tend to get a little somewhat jealous.
Uh-huh.
I'm honest about it at least.
It would be Gary. Why do you need that when you have all of this?
Well, hold
Yeah.
Right,
on. Let me
there
ask
you
Bonnie
go.
a question. What if it was a male nude club?
That would tend to seem a little bit more safe.
See? Double
okay.
standard. I knew
There
it.
we go. Okay. So what's good for the goose is not good for the gander. Okay. All right. Phil, would you rather be the person who administers the syringe at a lethal injection or be an IRS auditor?
Oh, IRS auditor. Then I could be mean.
I don't know. I'm kind of on the fence on that one because
Wow.
I don't know. Wow, that's a tough one.
I would be
Because
the IRS auditor in a heartbeat.
Yeah,
Well,
me too.
if
Just
you're
to
the
have- just
the
like
auditor's
screw
like
people.
injecting the final countdown if you don't pay up, but then again the person has paid up, so therefore they're getting the lethal injection. I'll take the IRS auditor.
Yeah, because
Did
at
you notice the
least
way I had to just like tear that one apart and
Yeah.
You did.
dissect it?
Yeah.
my advice on this, at least they have to pay you and pay up, but at least they're still breathing, you know.
Oh,
And I
okay.
didn't do the injection myself.
Okay. All right.
The injection wouldn't bother me, but if I had a choice, I would do the
Yeah.
IRS thing. Yeah.
All right.
Got quiet.
Yeah, I did because I was reading a text. Sorry. Would you rather have to endure getting Tabasco sauce eye drops or fill your pants with raw pork than kick a pit bull in the side?
Why would you want to kick a pit bull in the first place?
Well, I
That's-
don't know because see you have raw pork in your pants, and then because the scent of the pork, then you
Oh, I
agitate the
see.
pit bull,
oh, it'd be
and then they're
getting
gonna bite you
Okay.
where the sun don't shine
um,
in the raw pork.
you know, I think I could handle kicking the dog away at least 1 or 2 times and then running for dear life as I'm pulling the pork out of my pants.
I'm just trying to figure out how do they know how I spend my weekends.
Yeah.
We wonder where Evan spends his weekends finding all of this matter.
I just listen. It's my morning show prep. So come on, which one would you rather? Which one would you rather, Phil? You haven't answered that one yet.
I'll do the pork.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Next
Yeah, I'll
subject.
do the pork.
All right. All right. Very good. Would you rather always be able to tell what the person on the other end of the phone looks like just by hearing their voice, or always be able to tell if a movie is going to be good just by hearing the title?
I guess.
I'll take the movie.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'll take the movie too.
me
Yeah.
too.
You'll
Yeah.
take the movie? I'll say one thing. Back in my
Yeah.
younger days.
But then again,
Go ahead.
no, I'm saying then again, trailers. You can even see a trailer and think, oh, that movie's great or that movie looks bad, and it could be the complete opposite.
And you're
You know, so
So
you can even
answer
see
me a
the movie.
question.
I know, I understand that.
The trailer
but-
you're seeing, how many wheels does it have?
Oh, jeez.
But that's what I thought about Rocket Man because I
That
saw
was bad.
I saw the trailer for Rocket Man and I thought it looked this
How
looks
many wheels
really
did
cool.
How many wheels did the trailer have that you saw, Bonnie?
Only
Y'all
three.
are talking about trailers.
Only 3 wheels.
So it was a tricycle trailer.
But then I saw the actual movie, and I was like, I'm probably one of the few that was very let down by Rocket Man.
I don't know. I
haven't seen it yet.
would take the phone on this one just because when I was a teenager
Yeah.
and I would I did some strange things when I was a teenager. Not very
You?
strange. Yeah, I did. Oh, yeah.
I can believe it.
Yeah, I would just call random phone numbers and just see who answers.
Yeah.
And if they sounded nice, I'd talk to them.
Oh man.
Yeah. And actually one time I did, and I got to talking to somebody on the phone. It was a female, and we actually established a phone conversation.
All right.
And we talked for weeks. And then when I went to meet her, looked nothing like what she sounded.
So you were actually ahead of your
Never did.
time because people are doing this with an online thing now. You just did it on the
Well,
phone.
now they
and
swipe left and right.
Yeah.
But back then you had the, back in the day we had the rotary phone. So, you have to go.
Yeah. I
Wait,
missed
didn't you
that.
meet Thomas Edison?
Say what?
Or didn't you meet Alexander Graham Bell?
No. Thomas
Oh.
Edison was the light bulb.
I know, but I corrected myself.
Yeah,
Thank
there you
very
go.
much. Yeah,
No.
I said Alexander Graham Bell.
But I never did it again after that one time.
Phil, why did you think he met Alexander Graham Bell?
Well, he, his age. So, yeah.
Oh,
Thanks.
What are you-
Here we go. By the way, we learned something new too. Marcel has a subscription to Art Magazine.
Yes, he
that's
does.
awesome.
Yes.
He
We had
goes,
a conversation about that. He lectured me.
Yeah.
He goes, Evans, you should get a subscription. There's lots of coupons in there.
yeah,
Evans,
for
you
your
should-
prescriptions.
Yes, for your
That's
prescription.
what he said.
Yes.
Hey, you know what I find very fascinating? Like on the topic of phones and cell phones, do you guys ever see those photos of their questionable photos of people in the pictures taking a picture with a cell phone before they were created? Like they wonder if people did time travel, if the person in that picture was time traveling, because they'll show pictures of, I think there's this one significant one where it's at a famous boxing match, and this was before a cell phone was even invented. So there's a person in the crowd viewing the match holding something up in the air as if they were taking a picture as that of a cell phone. So then you wonder, how can that be? Because a cell phone wasn't even invented yet.
I don't know. My first cell phone was about the size of a brick.
Yeah. So was my dad.
I had what's called the Motorola 8000. The antenna was like 9 inches long.
I remember those.
Yeah.
The good old Motorola's.
Yes.
Do you remember the sound quality on those? Did they have good sound quality? Yeah.
Awful. All right. So I have like 3 or 4 more, and then we have to get to news here. Would you rather find out your teenage daughter was pregnant or that she had a serious drug problem? Phil?
Serious drug problem.
Serious drug problem. Bonnie?
Yes.
Bonnie's going to dissect this one.
Pregnant.
Yes.
Pregnant.
Okay. Phil, would you rather have constant diarrhea or constant terrible body odor?
Oh.
What's the difference?
Yeah, true.
I'd rather have the diarrhea.
They're at opposite ends of the spectrum.
I'd rather have the diarrhea.
Yeah, same here. Bonnie?
The body odor.
Okay. All right. Lastly, in an effort to make professional golf more exciting to watch, would you rather have all the golfers tee off of their big toe or allow loud heckling and screaming from fans on the putting greens?
Oh, I'd rather have the heckling because that'd be a lot of fun.
Yeah.
No,
actually.
I would go with the big toe.
I'm going to go with the heckling because you never know what you're going to hear. And that can make it
This
fun.
is a good one. This last one. I just found one more. I have to do this one just because it pertains to cats. Not picking on you, Bonnie. All right. But would you rather lick the handrails of a city bus or put your cat's thrown up fur ball in your mouth for 60 seconds?
Oh, gosh. Oh, man.
How's that one?
So what are you doing with the handrails of that city bus?
Licking the handrails.
Oh, man.
Yeah. Take your pick.
That's just outright disgusting.
Well, what can I say?
No,
I'm
I
just a
can't.
disgusting kind of guy today.
I'd rather lick the handrail.
Yeah.
Take my chances. Yeah.
Okay.
Actually, hold on. It doesn't say that you can't put a piece of plastic wrap on it when you do it. So
This
I'd
is
rather
true.
I'll do
That's
that then.
true.
There you go.
This is true.
Yeah.
Hey, by the way,
Yeah.
Phil, I meant to tell you something real quick.
What?
You know, I know you have your top 10 list coming up a little bit later on.
Yeah.
Okay, but today's a double shot Monday because
Okay.
I have a top 10 list.
All right.
Oh,
Yes.
man.
Dandy.
yes.
Any topic on
You,
it,
you
or
want me
can
to
you give
intro
a?
you now? You want me to intro
No.
you and you do the top 10?
No, you're going
No?
to do yours, and then
Oh,
I'll do
okay.
mine afterwards at the tail end of the 8 o'clock hour.
Nice.
And mine is a good one. Mine's a good one. I think you're going to like
So
it.
when are you going to do yours? Then?
I'm going to
What?
do it after you do yours.
Oh, so we're going to do like
It's a dueling.
competitive
It's a
top 10.
dueling. It's a double shot Monday.
a back-to-back episode
Right,
of
back
it.
to back top
All
10s
right.
this morning.
So wait, where did you steal your top 10 list?
I'm not going to tell you.
See, now there's the difference. I write my top 10 list.
Well, nobody said that I stole it. I just borrowed it. Like I borrow all my other material. 6:48 this morning. Don't choke, Phil. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie's standing by with the latest headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. Thousands of people came out Sunday across the state of Florida to celebrate Flag Day and President Trump's 74th birthday. In Palm Beach County, there were parades of boats, trucks, and motorcycles. It was an event not just on the water or on the street, but also up in the skies. In Jupiter, several boats gathered at the inlet before heading south along the intercoastal to Mar-a-Lago. At least 7 Minneapolis police officers have quit, and another 7 are in the process of re-signing, citing a lack of support from department and city leaders as protests over George Floyd's death has escalated. Current and former officers told the Minneapolis Star-Tribune that officers are upset with Mayor Jacob Frey's decision to abandon the 3rd precinct station during the protests. Demonstrators set the building on fire after officers left. Protesters also hurled bricks and insults at officers. Numerous officers and protesters have been injured. The Minnesota Department of Human Rights launched a civil rights investigation into the city's police department this month, and the FBI is investigating whether police willfully deprived Floyd of his civil rights. The South Florida community continues to pay it forward with the bike from Steve's Ride in the Ride Cross. Wheels of Wellington donated the Townie Path bicycle to WPTV's chief meteorologist Steve Weagle's annual Ride for the Red Cross, which is a week-long event that raises funds for the organization as hurricane season begins. Every year, the bicycle from Steve's Ride is given away to the highest bidder. This year, longtime donor Mark Minkin won the bike by making a $2,000 pledge to the Red Cross. Instead of keeping the bike, Minkin donated it to the Best Foot Forward Foundation, which helps foster care youth. The foundation plans to give the bike to one of the students in its programs. This year, Steve Weagle's virtual ride for the Red Cross raised more than $73,000 for the Red Cross. And lastly, the University of Florida has rescinded an admissions offer to a prospective student who posted a racial comment on social media. Florida's flagship university tweeted earlier this week that the prospective student will not be joining the University of Florida community this fall. The Gainesville Sun reports that source of the admissions offer being rescinded was an Instagram post a Cape Coral, Florida student made about 2 years ago. She posted a photo that referred to 2 Black girls in her class with the caption, "I really try so hard not to be a racist person, but I most definitely am. There's no denying it." Last week, the school says it was looking into posts from other students. On Friday, when a New York judge ruled a letter sent by Major League Baseball commish Rob Manfred to the Yankees addressing the 2017 sign stealing investigation must be unsealed. The ruling came when daily fantasy sports players filed a lawsuit against the league after revelations of the sign stealing scandal involving the Red Sox and Astros. The Yankees argued the letter would cause significant reputational injury, but also said, "We're not doing this to cover up some smoking gun." The Yankees have until noon today to submit a minimally redacted version of the letter, which won't be unsealed until June 19. This gives the team enough time for an emergency appeal if they wish, which The Athletic reported is likely. News time 6:52 and weather and traffic together are next.
.653 the time on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Treasure Coast, all looking well on the roads this morning. No accidents for our major roads, and US 1 is looking clear. There's our latest look at traffic. Stuart, we have 74. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
It is a warm and humid morning here on the Treasure Coast with a few showers and thunderstorms possible mainly near the coast. This afternoon, scattered showers and thunderstorms are possible with higher rain chances closer to the coast. Any thunderstorm that develops could be strong and some rainfall could be heavy. High temperatures will reach the mid to upper 80s with increasing clouds during the afternoon and light winds out of the southeast. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
If you have a suggestion for the show, we would love to hear from you. Send us an email to WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. Now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
6:58 coming up on 7 a.m. right here in just a few moments. News is coming up next. And then, of course, coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, the one and only, and I mean the one and only, Superintendent of Martin County Schools, Lori Gaylord, is going to be here joining us in the 8 o'clock hour to give us an update of what's happening on. Fredo, can you please get the band going for us to take us up to the news, please?
You got it. 3, 2, 1, go.
There we go, folks. It's the Shy Guys. And, of course, the band members are all here in studio bright and early with us at WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. And the band played on, and we'll be back right after the news. Don't go anywhere.
On air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected to the Get Up and Go Show. And now here's your hosts, Evan and Bonnie.
Coming soon from COVID-19 Fallout Pictures, 50 Shades of Grey. No, it's not a movie based on an erotic romance novel. This is a documentary about women's hair colors during the COVID-19 quarantine. No hair styling means no hair coloring, and no hair coloring means gray roots. Gray roots.
I'm calling mine locks of life.
It's the hot new hair trend over the next month or so while the quarantine continues all over the world. 50 Shades of Grey. These hair colors are to die for.
They are natural strands of wisdom.
Now playing on Skunk Hair TV.
Yeah, I have a little bit of gray. How about you, Bonnie?
You look fine in your gray.
Do
I
I?
don't think I have any grays going, really.
Phil, do you have any gray?
I have they're starting to creep in now.
Are they?
For me. Yeah, I noticed it about a week or so ago. I was like, oh, look at that. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Very good. Well,
I know my wife definitely has it.
Well, my daughter's only 28 and she's got a boat ton.
Oh, yeah?
A boat ton of gray.
But the gray looks good on some. Some can really sport it well.
But then again, the job that she does, it'll do it to you without a doubt. It's time for a segment we like to do. It's birthdays, anniversaries, and back in the day.
News on the radio. Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday.
As always, each and every weekday morning at this time, we do our world famous birthdays, anniversaries back in the day, where we reach out and do a shout out to anybody and everybody. So if you have a birthday or know somebody has a birthday, you can always send an email to the show, WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. You can also call us 220-9788, 220-9788. That's WSTU, 220-WSTU, if you have not figured that one out yet. Bonnie, we'll let you go first like we always do.
Just anybody celebrating a birthday in June, and I gotta say, I envy you. All the time growing up as a kid, you always envy the ones having the June summertime birthday parties.
True. All right. Phil, you have anybody?
A friend of mine, he lives out in Hawaii, actually. His name's Chad.
His name is Chad?
Yes.
7-654-321. 1 o'clock in the morning out in Hawaii. Think we should call him?
No.
That'd be the longest phone call.
Chad Banginston.
Dog the Bounty Hunter lives in Hawaii. I've got a cell number. I could call him up. At Dakine Bail Bonds. That's the name of his bail bond agency.
Yeah.
So I've got his phone number. I could call him up and say, hey, what's up, dog?
Phil doesn't need anybody else mad at him this
morning.
morning.
I got enough people mad at me right now.
Sure. All right. Is Veronique coming yet and giving you the wrath?
Oh, no. She won't come in here.
No?
No.
Okay.
No.
Yeah,
She won't come in here and bother me.
Phil's
They know
in the
better.
Barbie Playhouse room, by the way.
Is he
I
really?
saw this room that he's broadcasting from.
Yeah?
It's surrounded by Barbie dolls.
Oh, that I envy too. It
Yeah.
would be fun to come play
It's
with some
hilarious.
Barbies.
It is. The room he's in right now is hilarious.
The room I usually do the show in, my son's in there right now because he's down from college. So I had to come into my daughter's playroom and
Oh, does she have the
Yeah.
Barbie swimming pool? I always loved that.
Yeah.
Filling it with water.
Yeah. Even Phil claims one of those Barbie dolls. He revealed
Yeah.
that to me yesterday.
yeah,
He
actually
goes,
I
this
have
one is
two
mine.
that are mine.
You
in
have
here.
favorites. You can pick a favorite.
He's in touch with his feminine side.
Yeah.
Well, no, it's more of a collector's thing. I have a James Bond one
Mhm.
because I like James Bond, and then a Doctor Who one. So
If you saw his Doctor Who collection,
Yeah.
it's ridiculous.
It's okay too, Phil, if you have a Barbie, because I used to have a G.I. Joe when I was a little girl.
So I Phil took the
Did you
Barbie
now?
out yesterday
Yeah.
and started brushing its hair. That's when I had to walk out.
You know what? We were, I don't know. We were probably about 12 years old, me and my two buddies. My friend Chris, his sister had like the Barbie dream house, and shows you how evil we were back then. We actually took lighter fluid and set it on fire in the
Burn the house down.
in the garage.
And they played the song "Burning Down the House."
Yeah, It was bad. We got in so much trouble.
Hey, I got to mention my brother actually started singing that song to me when I was like 9, burning down the house, because you know what happened?
That was the Talking Heads, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it was.
That was
their biggest hit.
I almost burned
Their
down
only
our
hit.
garage because of Captain Kangaroo.
What?
Watching Captain Kangaroo. Yeah,
Really?
Because you know what him and Mr. Green Jeans were doing?
Mr. Green Jeans. I remember Mr. Green Jeans.
And kids, do not try this at home. What they were doing, and then I started to play with it out in our garage, taking white paper plates.
Okay.
And taking your crayons and using a lighter to have the colors melt onto your paper plate.
Okay.
So as a kid, I grabbed the lighter. I started melting the crayons. The paper plates and the fire got a little bit high and out of control. So
Never knew a paper plate could get high.
So what do? I panicked and I grabbed an empty gasoline can, and I went back to the hose and I filled it with water. And just as I was throwing it onto the flame went up really high. My brother was right in back of me.
Why would you do that?
And he started singing "Burning Down the House."
Wow.
Because I panicked.
I thought it'd be Disco Inferno.
Yeah.
But that flame came real high and then it went out. So I
Okay.
did put it out anyway. But yeah, how can you get something like that from the Captain Kangaroo show, right?
I don't know, but I'm more concerned about Mr. Green Jeans because now it poses a question. Did Mr. Green Jeans really have green jeans?
Yes, he did actually.
Did he?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he did. He wore green overalls and green jeans. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Wow.
A whole green outfit, right?
Okay, it looked like Kermit the Frog's father.
Hey,
okay. All right, so let's get to our birthdays and anniversaries. Bonnie, do you know who Northwest is?
A daughter of some celebrity couple. That's
Kim and Kanye's daughter.
Kim and Kanye. Yeah.
Northwest is 7 years old today.
Oh yeah.
How would you like to go through life with the name of Northwest? Think about it.
These names kill me, man.
How about Southeast? Right?
Yeah, right.
West Coast. Tom.
West Coast is actually better. I would like West for a first name, actually.
Okay.
That's all right.
Tim Lincecum is 36 years old today. Do you have any idea who that is, Bonnie?
I do not.
That is the former Giants and Angels pitcher who won the National League Cy Young Awards in the first 2 seasons of his major league.
Oh yeah.
career.
How old today?
Tim Lincecum, 36 years old today.
Okay.
Elizabeth Reeser, 45. That's Esme Cullen in Twilight movies.
Mhm.
Neil Patrick Harris, 47.
Dookie.
Cool.
Yeah, Dookie Howser. Poppy Montgomery is 48. That's FBI agent Samantha Spade on Without a Trace. Leah Remini is 50 years old today.
From King of Queens.
King of Queens.
Mhm.
Ice Cube. The
Cool.
Ice Cube. You know who that is, Bonnie?
He's from the Friday movies,
Yes.
right? And
Yes.
last Friday, I like him.
Thank God you. Never mind. I don't want to say what I was going to say.
I think he's really funny and really comical in those. And from Barbershop, right?
Yeah.
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 He's
Ice
also
Cube.
done quite a few movies, actually.
Ice Cube's 51. It's not something you put in a glass, folks, to make a drink cold.
He's also in The Lottery Ticket. And if you get a chance to watch that one, it's a very funny movie, too.
I play the lottery ticket every week and I win.
Yeah.
Courtney Cox, 56 years old today.
Oh,
Calm down, Phil.
Courtney
Somebody's in
Cox.
love with Courtney.
Yeah.
Oh,
calm
I
down.
was in love with Courtney back in the day. Oh, yeah.
I loved
All
it
right.
on Friends when her and it wasn't Matt LeBlanc that she was with. It was
LeBlanc.
who was the guy that I was hooked with on Friends? The other guy, anyway.
Don't know.
Joey?
Not Joey. Oh man,
God,
I didn't
not
watch
Joey
Friends that
Reynolds.
much. I only watched it because of her.
All right.
So,
Yeah?
Helen Hunt, 57 years old today. Mad About You and As Good as
Oh.
It Gets.
that's another
Julie.
one I was in love with.
Julie
Really?
Haggerty is 65. That's Elaine the stewardess on Airplane.
Ah.
Julie Haggerty.
Surely you're joking.
Yeah, right? You want the rim shot on that one?
Yeah, no, you know, what's such a Shirley, you can't be serious. I
Yes.
am serious.
Yes.
Stop calling me Shirley.
Jim Belushi, 66 years old. Jim Belushi, 66 years old. Steve Walsh is 69. That's the lead singer of the rock group Kansas. Can you name 2 of their songs, Bonnie?
Let's see. Carry On My Wayward Son
Mhm.
and Dust in the Wind
Very good.
would be one of them.
Very good. I know Phil's going through his book right now.
Yeah, I'm
Kansas
going through the
Songs.
book. I want to see how many hits they had.
Yeah, don't cheat. They had a lot of hits. Russell Hitchcock, 71 years old today. That's one half of Air Supply. How about that one? We talked about Air Supply the other day.
Yeah, we just had his partner have a birthday on Friday, I think.
Yeah. Celebrating birthdays in the heavens, Harry Nielsen, Jim Varney, and Waylon Jennings.
Waylon Jennings.
Waylon, good old Waylon Jennings.
All right, here we go. Guess how many hits they had? Top 40 hits.
I'm going to say probably 26.
No.
Not that many?
Lot lower.
15.
Lower.
Really?
You know,
Yes.
maybe
10?
maybe 4. Maybe I'm going
Lower.
to guess 4.
What are we playing? The game of high-low?
They had 7 top 40 hits.
Oh.
Okay.
Their biggest hit was Dust in the Wind,
Mm-hmm.
went as high as number 6.
Mm-hmm.
And then their second biggest hit was Carry On Wayward Son in
Oh, wow.
1977.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw them in Cadott, Wisconsin at Rockfest one year.
All right, Bonnie, I'm going to test your knowledge here real quick pertaining to birthdays, anniversaries back in the day. What happens in 19 days from today?
19 days.
19 days from
Let's see,
today.
The 4th of July.
Very good.
should be.
Don't get in trouble now.
Yeah. All right. What's in 81 days?
81 would be Labor Day, I would
Very
guess.
good. And in 6 days?
Father's Day. The day for you
Wow.
dads.
That's right.
You and Phil celebrating, doing a little celebrating, partying,
No, we're not.
mingling.
No.
No?
No.
No.
No?
I have no idea what my kids are going to do for me
Oh, it's a surprise.
this year. It better be good. And
Yeah,
I say that
Yeah.
because I got I guess I could say this on the air. I got screwed out on my birthday this year.
Oh, because of COVID?
Yeah.
And
Yeah, my wife
Yeah.
did too. Yeah.
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 I was supposed to go to Texas de Brazil for my birthday. I found out.
down to Brazil? You were going to go down,
No,
down to Brazil?
Bonnie.
He was going to get a Brazilian wax.
No,
Oh.
no. I was supposed to go to a steakhouse called Texas de Brazil. It's
Is
not
it
in
good?
Brazil.
Yeah.
It's in Palm Beach Gardens.
Oh, I bet it's good.
And you pay
Yeah.
one price and you get all the meat you can eat.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
Wow.
They come out with the skews and they literally cut it off the skew and put it on your plate.
Yes.
Is it like in The Great Outdoors where Jim Candy ate the 96er? And-
That's a great scene.
No.
He had-
No.
But he had
But it's
to-
all the beef. It's all the beef.
no grizzles and fat like he had
Yeah,
on
there they
his.
go. No, you have to eat all the gristle too.
Yeah.
And then he's like, "Ugh."
You don't have to worry about the Wendy's lady saying, "Where's the beef?"
Right.
There's plenty of beef at
It's
Texas
there.
de Brazil.
We were
So
at,
I got screwed out of that for my birthday.
we were at a steakhouse in Madison, Wisconsin, where
Mhm.
you had to cook your own steaks.
Okay.
You ever go to a place like that? It was like they had this huge round grill. It
Mhm.
was like a circular grill, and you sit at your certain spot on it. They
Yeah.
bring out the steaks, and you cook up your own.
All right. So if any of my kids are listening right now, or if my wife is listening, I would like to go to Texas de Brazil for Father's Day. So if anybody knows my kids or knows how to reach my wife, drop the hint. That's where Dad would like to go for.
You want me to
his-
text her for you?
Yeah, would you please?
Oh.
Definitely. And speaking of texts, no, I'm not getting a text. Okay.
Evan, I hope you get your wish completely.
Yeah,
That
well,
would
that's
be-
that's wishful thinking.
You think
That's
I
probably
don't
not going to
know.
happen because 10 to 1 says my daughter's going to be on duty.
Oh.
So that won't happen.
Yeah.
And then let me see. Dylan lives down in Miami, so that's not going to happen. And Darren's a dad, so he'll be celebrating Father's Day with his wife and his son.
Uh-huh.
So that won't happen. And then Gavin's 17, and that won't happen because he can't afford to make it happen.
Well, I was gonna say he's been working hard.
Yeah.
He probably has to work.
Yeah, but
Oh.
he doesn't work on Sundays.
Oh.
Gavin
Doesn't?
doesn't work on Sundays. They usually have their back. Oh, the Speak Life the musical production is back rehearsing again finally.
Nice. Oh,
That's
we're gonna,
good.
They had their first rehearsal yesterday.
it'll be fun to go and see that performance.
Yeah, I'll have to let you know
Yeah.
so you and Gary can come and check it out.
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah.
I really am.
Bring a box of tissue. And I definitely would
Aw.
like for you and Veronique to come as well and
Okay.
bring your daughter. It's definitely something to see.
It's
without
going to be
doubt.
hard to see all that bullying, though. I hate to watch that sort of stuff.
Mhm.
I know I'm a softie,
That's
so
all
I
right.
will need my tissue.
That's all right. Bring your tissues. 7:21. It's news time. It's go to the news desk where Bonnie's standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. Thousands of people came out Sunday across the state of Florida to celebrate Flag Day and President Donald Trump's 74th birthday. In Palm Beach County, there were parades of boats, trucks, and motorcycles in an event not just on the water or on the street, but also up in the skies. In Jupiter, several boats gathered at the inlet before heading south along the Intercoastal to Mar-a-Lago. Video recorded by a bystander showed the world George Floyd's horrifying last minutes, capturing his cries and pleas for air as a Minneapolis police officer used his knee to pin down Floyd's neck. But the footage recorded by body cameras that officers wore on their chests as they were arresting Floyd is expected to show even more about what the officers and Floyd were doing and saying during that fateful encounter, and it could shape how the officers' cases play out in court. A video camera, when properly authenticated, is an eyewitness. It can testify, said Michael Primino, an audio and video forensics expert at Michigan-based Primio Forensics. Hendry County deputies are investigating the fatal shooting of a Florida wildlife conservation officer. Deputies responded to the area of Apache Circle and Nobles Road in the early morning hours of Sunday, June 14, to reports of someone being shot. They found 30-year-old FWC officer Julian Keene Jr. had been fatally shot. Keene was off duty at the time of the shooting. The Hendry County Sheriff's Office Major Crimes Unit is leading the homicide investigation with assistance from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Investigators currently have 3 suspects in custody and are questioning them at this time. Anyone with information on the crime should contact Hendry County Sheriff's Office Major Crimes Unit at 863-674-0406. And more than 40,000 cruise ship workers are still stuck at sea because of concerns about the coronavirus. The Miami Herald reports that at least 42,000 workers remain trapped on cruise ships without paychecks. Some are still suffering from COVID-19 3 months after the industry shut down. Cruise lines stopped sailing in mid-March after several high-profile outbreaks at sea. More than 600 people fell ill aboard Carnival Corps' Diamond Princess while it was quarantined off the coast of Japan. The U.S. Centers for Disease Control has prohibited cruises in U.S. waters through July 24. Some cruise ship workers have started being repatriated to their home countries. 7:24, and now a look at sports. The Major League Baseball Players Association has rejected the league's latest proposal, that is, to resume the season, and does not plan to submit a counteroffer, the union announced on Saturday. On Friday, Major League Baseball submitted its latest proposal, which included a 72-game season to begin on July 14, with 70% prorated salaries for the regular season and 80% if the postseason is completed. And according to ESPN's Jeff Passan, the Players Union asked Major League Baseball to provide information as to how the season would proceed if one were to take place this year. And news time is 7:25. Our weather and traffic together are next.
$7:26 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, all brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
On this Monday morning, the roads are quiet. So, if you're heading out, you got to get there by 8. You should arrive on time. No accidents, no slowdowns. And there's your latest look at traffic. Stewart Stuart this morning, 76, and it's 74 in Port St. Lucie. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
It is a warm and humid morning here on the Treasure Coast with a few showers and thunderstorms possible mainly near the coast. This afternoon, scattered showers and thunderstorms are possible with higher rain chances closer to the coast. Any thunderstorm that develops could be strong and some rainfall could be heavy. High temperatures will reach the mid to upper 80s with increasing clouds during the afternoon and light winds out of the southeast. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Do you have a suggestion for the show? Send us an email, WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. And now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
At Cruises International, we realize you may be one of the many protesters that doesn't want to wear a mask and be cooped up at home. You want to go out, live life, and party. Well, we're ready to set sail with you. Climb aboard as you cruise with others just like you who throw scientific caution to the wind. Dance with us in the Corona Congo line. Sign up for the Cough Cough Karaoke Contest, where everyone sings into the same microphone. And stuff yourself at the buffet. Shovel that food on your plate. Lick your fingers as you continue handling all the serving spoons and tongs.
Just kidding. No one uses the tongs. They were never taught third grade manners.
Here's the best part. Some cruises starting at $25. Imagine the quality of people just like you, ready to congregate in small bars, pools, and theaters. Why not have fun? There are no politics on board and only one doctor. So come on, prove your point. Climb aboard the experiment to prove them all wrong today with Cruises International.
Choose from 7 or 10-day cruises. Cruise ship may not be permitted to dock at destination or return to the U.S. Don't forget to sign the waiver. Don't blame us. See your travel agent.
7:30 right now on the Get Up and Go show, and it's time for one of our favorite segments. It's Stupid News.
And now it's time for Stupid News,
It's so stupid and awesome.
where we ask the important questions.
Are some people too stupid to live?
Why are people so stupid?
Are you effing stupid?
Oh, yeah, I had all weekend to scour the globe, Bonnie.
I know, except for when you guys were partying.
I was still scouring the globe.
But here's what's funny. My son submitted one to Evan.
Yes.
For the Stupid News.
Oh,
yeah.
yes.
At the party, yeah.
Yeah.
So we'll have to, before you go into that story, say it's sponsored by Phil's, what your son's name?
Phil.
Phil.
It's Phil Jr.?
Yeah, he's a junior.
Third.
Oh, my.
The third.
Yeah. He's number 3, yes.
All right.
Except I don't
Yes.
know remember which one it was. I have to go through.
Got the-
I've
got
got
the
like
gate-
I've got
got the
like
gator.
Oh, the gator.
Yeah.
Let me find it here. Hold on. Oh yeah, here it is. Okay. All right.
We should call him.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'll get to the Gator story in a minute. First, I want to talk about a grandmother in Manchester, England. At around 4:30 in the morning on Tuesday last week, a 22-year-old guy named Daniel Allen was high, and he broke into his grandmother's house in Manchester, England. His grandmother was awoken by her cats meowing at Daniel. And when she came downstairs, she found Daniel eating all the hot dogs. They got into an argument, very unpleasant confrontation. So she decided to call the cops.
Yeah, don't have all my hot dogs. Just have one.
Don't eat my weenies.
Yeah,
They got into that unpleasant confrontation. Daniel was arrested for burglary and theft for stealing $1.25 worth of hot dogs
From his grandma?
from his grandmother.
Arrested for that? Really?
Yep.
Wow.
Pleaded guilty in
Oh.
court, and he's going to be sentenced later on this year.
See, now if
On the bright side,
oh boy.
on the bright side, he did respect his grandmother's rules enough to take his shoes off when he broke in.
You see, if you were Granny, would you have let him got away with that? I would if I were Granny.
Now, see, if that had been my Spanish grandmother from my father's side of the family, she would have ran after that person with a frying pan.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
See, my granny,
Grandma was no joke in my family.
my grandma might be out cooking him more hot dogs.
Yeah, my grandmother was no joke.
Wow.
No joke. They had a
Yeah.
tradition every year at New Year's that at New Year's Eve, you throw a pot of water out the front door.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
What
Well,
does that mean?
It just washes away the bad spirits.
I love that.
That's
okay.
that's a tradition. So this is a true story. One year, there was a DJ at my aunt's house, and we were there for New Year's Eve down in Miramar, Florida. True story now, not stupid news. True story.
Uh-huh.
Apparently, the police were called because it was a little too loud at the house. So police ring the bell, and nobody heard the doorbell ring. So it's midnight, and Grandma gets the bucket full of water.
Oh no.
You know where I'm going, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Grandma
Yes.
opens the front door, not looking, throws the water out the front door.
Wow.
Guess who's standing at the front door?
The intruders.
No, the police.
Oh, the police.
The police.
Yeah.
The popo.
Wow.
The popo.
Oh.
They got met in the face with water.
Did-
True
were-
story.
Were they cool about it? Were they cool
I'm sure
with
they were
Grandma?
after getting washed down. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. Grandma didn't go to jail.
That's good. Was her face all red and such?
They kind of played it off. They were pretty cool about it, though. I do remember.
Whoa.
I do remember, though. That
How old
was-
were you then?
I think I was probably 14, 15 years old back then.
Also,
Mhm.
Yeah.
18, 19 then.
Yes. So, really?
He was old enough to remember to tell the story,
Yes, there you go.
and he wasn't getting high with at grandma's.
Jeez. Okay. An Indian man has opted to bequeath most of his land to 2 elephants instead of his wife, that he says saved his life from intruders, a decision which has upset his wife and kids. Akhtar Inam, from a village in eastern state of Bihar, said he changed his will to bequeath 6.2 acres to the gentle giants named Moti and Rani. I simply don't want hardship for my Moti and Rani, who are no less my family, Inam told reporters. I don't want my elephants to face the fate of orphaned or abandoned captive elephants who die on the streets or in deserted fields due to the lack of proper care. So he gave them the land
Mm-hmm.
instead
Oh,
of giving
boy.
it to his wife.
Maybe he could have left the land to the elephants and his wife and kid.
Yeah.
Maybe they could have all shared that land.
Yeah.
But
Or he couldn't tell the difference between his wife and the elephants.
Yes. Wow. Okay.
Or there could
It's
be
true.
something up with it. Maybe his wife wasn't trusted enough with a will to help out the elephants
Don't know.
when he left.
Don't know, don't want to know. Not my business.
I'm happy for those elephants, though, of course.
Mhm.
All of them acres they can
Right.
frolic on.
Yes.
Yeah. I like elephants. I love the elephant.
This is a cute story. A 5-year-old girl asks her mom, quote, "Why is your bra in daddy's car?" Leaving the dad baffled and panicked as his wife gave him a killer side eye, knowing she hadn't been in the car for weeks.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Oh.
Not good. Not good when your kid throws you under the bus like that.
That would spoil an outing.
Yeah. As the dad, an
outing.
Yeah, an outing or an inning.
Like a field trip.
Yes. As the dad protested his innocence and refuted her claims there was a bra in his car, she added, "Yaha, cup thingy with straps," is what the little girl said.
Cup thingy.
Cup thingy. It's a cup thingy.
Cute.
Okay. Now, to get to the bottom of the devastating accusation, all three of them marched out to the garage to have a look, where they discovered a face mask laying between the two front seats. Little girl thought it was a bra.
Great ending to an anticipating story. You had us on the edge.
Yeah. So for this next story, we're gonna make a phone call. Okay. We're gonna call somebody.
All right. Who we calling?
I hope this person is awake. We're calling Phil Jr. because
number 3.
Yes, this is Phil, and the phone's busy.
wait, you might misdialed that.
Yeah, how could a cell phone be busy? Oh, I know what I did. I did 407 instead of 470.
Yeah,
that's why. Yeah, I can't dial.
Georgia area code.
It's 7:37 this morning.
What is that? 407. It's Georgia.
That's Orlando.
Orlando. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
I see that once in a while.
All right. So
should have went in the other room and said, "Wake up."
Yeah, right. First. Well, if he's not awake, that's all right. We tried to wake him. You can let him know he missed his 5 seconds of fame.
Yeah.
All right, that's 3 ringy dingies, 4 ringy dingies. And probably like my kid, he sleeps in till 2 in the afternoon.
You have reached the voicemail box of...
Well, oh well.
Can we go knock on the door?
No, that's all right.
I would like
That's all
to
right.
hear if he sounds like Phil. Sometimes father and son kind of sound
totally
like
He doesn't
opposite.
sound like me. No.
No.
Okay.
He doesn't sound like
No.
him, but he's a spitting image of him.
Oh, really?
Yeah, Veronique
Nah.
doesn't think so.
No, my wife doesn't think so.
No, he looks like Phil.
Oh,
They call him Phil the Third.
Oh.
A Florida man who allegedly resisted arrest after being caught illegally feeding an alligator named Hank in his neighborhood pond described the 10-foot beast as a good boy and a good friend. Okay. Guy's name is Paul Fortin, 67 years old, was issued a citation by the Florida Fish and Wildlife Commission, otherwise known as FWC, over the incident a week ago at a pond in Daytona Beach. But he was arrested by police and taken to Volusia County Jail after refusing to accept the citation and resisting an officer without violence. So he refused to take the citation for feeding the gator. So therefore, he was taken to jail for not accepting the citation.
Yeah.
The gentleman who says he is a disabled veteran said he regularly feeds Hank the alligator. He says, quote, "He's a good boy. He lets me pet him." And that's what he told the cops. He just sits there and he loves bagels. And he was such a good friend.
Oh.
Somebody's got some issues.
Yeah, right.
Hi, what do you do during your pastime? Oh, I feed my friendly alligator bagels. Do you put locks on the bagels?
Yeah.
Cream cheese
Oh,
or butter?
Maybe loving those locks or loving
Yeah.
that salmon in
Yeah.
there.
That's
Yeah.
there's something not wrong there.
Not supposed to be feeding the gator.
No.
You know, out in Jupiter Farms, there's a lake that's in front of a Publix and between a Publix and a McDonald's, and people go out there and get hamburgers from McDonald's and feed the alligators.
I know exactly
that are-
where that lake is, right there at the corner of Jupiter Farms Road and Indian Town Road.
Yes.
Right there. It's where your liquor store used to be.
Yes, exactly.
In that plaza.
I got to
Yeah,
get
they-
up there and see that.
Oh, get in
They,
your Mustang.
they do
and
it
go.
all around
Oh.
lunchtime. You'll see it.
Oh, man.
Yeah.
Crazy.
79-year-old grandmother says she is quitting her day job as a career after her daughter convinced her to sell saucy pictures online. Okay. Sandra Marie Brooke splits her time between Portugal and Amsterdam, says she can make $1,800 a month through the website onlyfans.com. Onlyfans.com.
OnlyFans.
Yeah, so-
have you heard of that one?
I actually investigated into this.
I bet you did.
I did. That's right. I wanted to see the truth of
While
this.
reading your AARP magazine.
Thank you. On the toilet, no less.
Boy, you lead an interesting life.
Yes. I
On the
surf
toilet.
I surf on OnlyFans reading ARP on the toilet. What else do I have to do? So anyway, onlyfans.com is a real website.
Is it?
Yeah, actually a
Oh.
friend of mine is on there.
Oh,
Yeah, they put saucy pictures
yeah.
and you pay like subscription to be a member every month.
Do you have to be a certain age to do it?
18.
All right.
Okay. So the grandma says that the money that she makes is more than triple what she earned in her last job as a part-time career. Her personal Instagram account now has over 111,000 followers and depicts the grandmother in a series of skimpy outfits and suggestive poses.
Mm-hmm. What do you fellas think about that?
Onlyfans.com.
Or
That's it.
as long as it's not your grandma?
Well, it's not my grandmother.
Hey, who cares?
Yeah.
I mean, but then again, if
You
my
know.
grandma wants to put saucy pictures online, that's up to her. She's
Hang
making
on,
more
I'm
money
looking
than
at
me.
the website.
Are you really? Oh my gosh! Don't let
I'm
Veronique
joking.
look over your shoulder. So anyway, yeah, that's the website.
She's living the life.
That's it.
Yeah. What the
And
heck?
how much is she making again?
11,000.
Wow.
Yeah.
Bless her heart.
Yeah,
Mhm.
11 grand.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go to
Wow.
Indonesia, where Indonesian media Indonesian media recently reported the bizarre case of a 31-year-old man who married a woman he met online only to find out that she was actually a man 2 days after the wedding.
Shocker.
Yeah, the man only identified as Ma in order to protect his identity.
Of course it is.
Reportedly met his wife Mita on Facebook about a month ago. After getting to know each other and establishing a romantic relationship online, the two decided to meet up in a real-life atmosphere of a meeting. They went out for coffee, and the 31-year-old claims that nothing about Mita's appearance and voice felt suspicious. She looked beautiful and graceful, which made him fall in love with her instantly. He was staying up at night thinking about her, and after a few weeks of dating, he called Mita up one day and asked her to marry him. Mita said yes. Then everything went downhill when they went to consummate the marriage, and that's when he found out that she was a he.
Reminds me of
There was a little extra cargo on board.
the crying game. Yeah.
Extra cargo.
Little extra piece of cargo. Little extra piece of luggage.
But wouldn't you want to check out the merchandise first before you buy it?
If you could see Bonnie right now, when I said there was extra cargo or merchandise, she took her hand and like just slapped her forehead.
Yeah.
Like, what the heck is going on?
And Phil, what do you mean by checking out the merchandise? Are
No.
you all for premarital sex? Did you guys ever see the crying game?
Wait a minute.
Yeah,
Bonnie,
I saw it.
Bonnie, please tell me you just did not ask that question.
I don't know.
Should we poll the audience?
We could. We could get it. We could get it.
Should you check? Well, wouldn't you? Well,
last
yeah,
week we
I guess
polled the audience
nowadays you would
for-
want to check out the merchandise
I
before
mean,
you buy it.
last week we polled the audience about Gouldens.
Yeah.
So, Bonnie, go ahead, Bonnie. Ask away.
I don't know. Is it best to check out the merchandise before purchasing the cow? Well,
Where did Elsie come in?
I don't know.
Elsie come in play
I
here.
can't think of better wordage. You would think I could think of some sort of thing better. Premarital sex, yes or no? I mean, well,
Oh, my Lord.
it's out there. It's
Okay.
out there. But this guy might
I'm
have.
still stuck on the cow.
Guy might have wanted to check on it first.
You need cow sound effects, dude.
Where this guy was from Indonesia, huh?
Yeah.
And was the guy that he got with online like halfway across the globe and such?
I don't know.
Like I'm thinking.
Well, it was a girl
considering-
at first.
Yeah, right.
It was a girl at first.
and
until they went to consummate.
I'm considering maybe they should have gone like on a couple of
Yeah, but he-
dates.
Found
But
out
also,
that she
too,
was a he.
He should have told him. You know. That's the only way I could say it.
Yeah, become forthright with it, and
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
there won't be any issues later.
Exactly.
Could you imagine you date somebody and you're out and about and you're feeling frisky and you go in for the kill, and you kind of reach and
checking out the merchandise.
There'd be like some little hairs definitely pulled in the back of your neck. You got that moment of
there's let's just say let's just say if it would be like going to the airport and having a carry-on baggage.
Wow. I'm telling you.
Oh man.
Oh.
Wow. I knew that story would get a raise on it. Bonnie, what's going on in the news this morning?
Well, Evan, this morning we have thousands of people coming out yesterday across the state of Florida to celebrate Flag Day, and it was President Donald Trump's 74th birthday. And in Palm Beach County, there were parades of boats, trucks, and motorcycles. It was an event not just on the water or on the street, but also up in the skies. In Jupiter, several boats gathered at the inlet before heading south along the intercoastal to Mar-a-Lago. Claiming the college athlete has been treated differently than the average student for too long, Governor Ron DeSantis has signed into law the Intercollegiate Athlete Compensation and Rights Bill. He stresses it doesn't pay athletes from a university.
They're still amateurs, but if EA Sports wants to do NCAA football, and they're going to have some of these guys who, are great players, and they're going to use their name, image, and likeness, then there can be some compensation for that.
The Florida State Attorney's Office is dropping the charges of unlawful assembly towards 48 protesters in Jacksonville. On May 31st, dozens of protesters were arrested outside the Jacksonville courthouse for peacefully protesting the death of George Floyd and police brutality. And one moment, I apologize. Let me bring that story back. Hold tight. Yes, the sheriff in Brevard County says he was planning to fire a lieutenant who posted an inappropriate comment on a Facebook page.
This reached a level of embarrassment for this agency that I was absolutely refusing to overlook.
Sheriff Wayne Ivey says Burt Gammon retired before he could be fired. Gammon went on the Fraternal Order of Police Facebook page to invite disgruntled police officers from Atlanta and Buffalo to apply for jobs with the Brevard sheriff. All of the officers had been caught up in protests over the death of George Floyd. The South Florida community continues to pay it forward with the bike from Steve's Ride in the Ride Cross. Wheels of Wellington donated the Townie Path bicycle to WPTV's chief meteorologist Steve Weagle's annual Ride for the Red Cross, which is a week-long event that raises funds for the organization as hurricane season begins. Every year, the bicycle from Steve's Ride is given away to the highest bidder. This year, longtime donor Mark Minkin won the bike by making a $2,000 pledge to the Red Cross. Instead of keeping the bike, Minkin donated it to the Best Foot Forward Foundation that helps foster care youth. The foundation plans to give the bike to one of the students in its programs. This year, Steve Weagle's virtual ride for the Red Cross raised more than $73,000 for the Red Cross. 7:50, and here's a look at sports. Well, on Friday, when a New York judge ruled a letter sent by Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred to the Yankees addressing the 2017 sign stealing investigation must be unsealed. The ruling came when daily fantasy sports players filed a lawsuit against the league after revelations of the sign stealing scandal involving the Red Sox and Astros. The Yankees argued the letter would cause significant reputational injury, but also said, "We're not doing this to cover up some smoking gun." The Yankees have until noon today to submit a minimally redacted version of the letter, which won't be unsealed until June 19. Our weather and traffic together are next.
7:52 the time on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together, brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Well, Evan, it's a nice ride this morning. Gorgeous Monday. And yes, the roads right here looking clear. US 1 is good right now. The major highways are fine. There's your latest look at traffic. And a partly sunny sky, 76 in Stewart. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
It is a warm and humid morning here on the Treasure Coast with a few showers and thunderstorms possible mainly near the coast. This afternoon, scattered showers and thunderstorms are possible with higher rain chances closer to the coast. Any thunderstorm that develops could be strong and some rainfall could be heavy. High temperatures will reach the mid to upper 80s with increasing clouds during the afternoon and light winds out of the southeast. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
7:56 on the Get Up and Go show, and we have a caller right now. Hi, you're on the air with Evan and Bonnie. Who's on our line right now?
Hello, this is Philip.
Ah, it's Philip. He's finally out of bed. Philip,
Yeah.
it's your son. So this is the third, right?
Yeah, this is number 3.
This is number 3, and this is the one who submitted the stupid news story to me over the weekend when we were at your house at the Palatial Benfield Palace about the
Right.
about the alligator. So what was it that caught your attention, Philip, about that alligator story?
The quote. He just really likes bagels.
The alligator really likes bagels. Now, I noticed in that story they didn't specify if it was an onion bagel, a garlic bagel, poppy seed, or whole wheat. They didn't specify that, did they?
No, I don't think so.
Okay, all right. Boy, you see, he sounds just like his father, doesn't he?
Yes, he does.
Does he? He doesn't. Really?
That's sad.
Quite a bit sounding alike.
Yeah, he looks like him.
boy.
He sounds like him. That's
Uh-huh.
going to be a rough life going forward.
Oh.
I'm so sorry, son.
Yeah.
We're clones, though.
Yeah, that's true. That's for darn sure. So, how long are you down for? You're on a couple of days. You're actually off for the summer for school, right?
Well, yeah, I was off. I'm in college, so we don't have summer school. You don't have to take it if you don't want to.
Okay.
But I need to do it to get out a little bit earlier.
Okay.
So
And you're majoring in what is it, theater and film or something like that?
Film and TV production.
Okay, so you want to be a big time director like Steven Spielberg?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So what's your first major motion picture flick going to be about? Do you have an idea what you want it to be about? Is it going to be Is it going to be drama? Is it going to be comedy? Is it going to be
Debbie Does Del Rey?
What? No. No.
Should be about people.
That's where she rates all the burger joints.
People feeding bagels to gators in Florida.
Yeah, there we go. Or an action
Yeah, I
adventure.
can do it. There you go.
Action adventure. What kind of movie do you want to do for your first one?
I'm a big fan of horror movies.
Horror? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I
All
don't
right.
know if to do a generic kind of like slasher, but I think something a bit more creepy would be fun to make.
Okay. Well, just hang out with your dad. That'll be creepy enough. There you go.
That's it right there. Yeah.
Anyway. All right. Hey, Philip, thank you so much for calling in. I appreciate it. We got to get out of here. Hey, Fredo, can you do me a favor, please? Can you get the band going, take us into the news?
Yeah, man. Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Let's go.
Here we go. And the band played on. Fredo and the Shy Guys going to take us all the way to the top of the hour right here at WSTU Stewart, Martin County's Heritage Station. Coming up in the 8 o'clock hour, the superintendent of the Martin County School Board is going to be here, Lori Gaylord, with an update on what's going on in Martin County schools. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
On the air, online, covering the Treasure Coast. Get connected with the Get Up and Go Show. And now here's your host, Evan and Bonnie.
.807 on the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie. It's a Monday, and you know what Monday means. It's time for the superintendent of Martin County Schools, Lori Gaylord, to be joining us on our line. Lori, good morning. How was your weekend?
Good morning. It was a great weekend. I got a little bit of a chance to enjoy some nice outdoors this weekend without any rain. And so it was awesome. I hope everybody else did the same.
Yeah, pretty soon coming in November, you're going to be getting a lot more time to enjoy those outdoors, right?
That's right. I look forward to that.
Hey, on Thursday, the governor, last Thursday, the 11th of June, the governor of our great state of Florida announced that he would like Florida schools to be open at full capacity starting in August. And the governor and the Florida Department of Education has advised local school districts to use what's called a dimmer switch, or I guess it's a step-by-step approach when making decisions about resuming school and school-based activities. And many students, parents, employees, and members of the community are wondering what this announcement actually is going to mean for the Martin County School District. I thought maybe you could collaborate a little bit on that.
Well, we are still in the process of trying to define that, because fully open, full capacity, fully reopened, defining what that looks like, and then again following that up with locally driven decisions. So working on that ourselves. Obviously, we talked last week about having a digital option for students who wish to remain at home, and for whatever the reason, the parents have decided not to send their children back to school. There will be a Martin Digital Learning Academy available for those students that wish to remain digitally at home. For those, we do have a plan. As a matter of fact, our school board meeting tomorrow evening at 4 p.m., June 16th, the board will be discussing the phase-in of our plan to come back and update the school board at that time about what some of the plans we have. As you know, these are ever-changing, daily changing, sometimes hourly. And what that might look like. And as we go forward, I'm hoping that, numbers coming forward in 2 weeks in July, we'll have a better understanding of what that looks like. And I would love nothing more than to be at full capacity and open with live students. However, not sure if that's going to be possible. We'll just have to wait and see. There will probably be a combination of in-person learning and also digital learning as well. So that's kind of what I can tell you about that right now. We continue to gather information. We have several surveys that have been put out to parents, and the majority, a lot of people want that in-person, in-live students in the seats learning to take place in the fall, and I would love nothing more than to have that happen myself.
Let me ask you a question, because, I've been sitting here thinking about this, and I was having conversations with my son about this, because he's going to be a senior up in the St. Lucie County area. How do you, I just don't understand it. How do you keep the kids safe if you still have to practice the whole social distancing, the school busing? There's so many variabilities with all of this.
Yeah, and that's one of the things that we keep saying is what are the CDC guidelines? What will the CDC guidelines be at that time? The biggest dilemma is transportation. How do we get these students to school if we have to practice social distancing? Now, what one of the calls I learned that districts are looking at putting one student on every seat. Well, and then requiring them to wear masks on the bus. Mm-hmm. So if you put a student on every seat, that you can imagine if we have, say, 66 kids on a bus and you can only put 13 kids on a bus, that makes a huge difference. So number one is we do not have the capacity. We don't have enough buses to be able to transport all of the kids to school if we have to do that. So that's why I'm saying is if we can't transport all the kids to school, then we would have to do some type of a combination of some kids in school, some kids learning at home still. The busing is a big dilemma for all districts. So figuring out how we can do that is a big issue for us to overcome. Also, then the social distancing at school is, do we still maintain social distancing while students are at school, depending on what CDC guidelines are at that time? And so you know that then you're going to have to limit your number of children that you can have in a classroom if we have to socially distance. Also taking into consideration little ones that may not understand social distancing. And wearing masks or not masks. Now, like again, the majority of people want their children to come back to school. When we did put out the survey, a lot of parents said, I am willing to drive my child to school if he can come back to school in August. And so that would be helpful for us to know is how many people are willing to drive their children to school if they could come back to school. So there's still a lot of information to be gathered, and we're considering all these options, looking at the data that we're collecting and continuing to collect, getting that feedback to help us make decisions that are in the best interest of our children and our employees. We want to keep our students safe, but we also need to keep our employees safe.
And their minds are so fragile at such a young age, especially the kindergartners. A lot of parents use the busing system to put the kindergartners on the bus. So the kindergartners really don't understand and can't grasp the concept of, why do I have to wear a mask on the bus? Why can't I sit with my friend? Why can't I sit with my brother? Why can't I sit with my sister? These are all things that are very hard to explain to a child that is very young. Then to top it off, like you mentioned about the busing system, if you have a school bus that you can sit 3 kids to a seat and you have 2 rows, and the capacity of the bus, let's just say, is 99 people, well, you know what? You've just reduced your capacity to 1/3 of that, because you can only put 1 kid per seat. And then if you go 1 every other seat, now that puts a strain on the whole transportation system, doesn't it?
It certainly does. The number of buses and also the number of drivers. And so you can see how difficult this will be for us as we're trying to plan to have live school. I mean, we will have a number of live students in school. How that's being done, like I said, there'll be a combination of plans and how we bring that back. So that plan is being worked on right now. We have staff that is working on that as we speak.
Tell me about the feedback surveys that you've been sending out. How has that been going? What's the feedback that you're getting so far?
Well, like I said, it's the feedback that a lot of parents do want their children to come back to school. They feel that that is the best learning opportunity for their students. There's nothing like the teacher in the classroom to deliver the message. A lot of parents have said, like I said, parents said, if you have live school in August, I will transport my students, because that's one of the things that we were particularly interested in is the busing situation. So parents said that they would be willing to transport. Now, for every parent probably that wants their student to come back live, then on the flip side, we have parents that say, I'm not sending my student to school. As long as we are continuing to see an increase in this area, in this county, I'm not sending my student to school. So, we have both sides of the fence there.
Do you feel, in your humble opinion, that it's going to come down to each individual family making their own decision whether they want to, let me rephrase this, Lori. Do you think, in your opinion, is there a possibility that the school board could offer each family an option of sending their child to school or letting their child learn virtually?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I think that families have to make these decisions, and we have to be flexible. We have to be, as I've heard the Commissioner of Education say, semper gumby, super flexible, so that we can allow families to make those decisions for their children. And that's why we're planning to have a digital learning academy, a Martin Digital Learning Academy, for the students to be able to, if parents so choose, and they want their students to stay home, so that they continue to receive their coursework that they need to have, and they may do it at home virtually.
Talk to me a little bit about the board meeting. what are some of the things that are going to be brought up tomorrow? It's tomorrow at 4:00, correct?
Tomorrow at 4:00. Well, probably everything that we're talking about right now will be discussed tomorrow. The different scenarios about how we would bring students back, and then also, we're looking at those 9 weeks, that quarter of a year, the end of the year for students that were at home. Matter of fact, we had some teachers that, really stepped up to the plate. And I had a mom tell me last week, I said, well, do you feel that your student, had any regression these 9 weeks? And she said, absolutely not. My student was, the teacher was up in the morning and my student was on it. And, it was, a regular school day for her. And I do not feel that she slipped at all. So that's fabulous. And I love to hear those stories. But we also know on the other side of things that some parents have expressed that they felt like maybe their students didn't maybe either complete their work, complete their assignments, or do what it was necessary to be able to get the full academic lessons that we were sort of trying to push out for everybody to get. So we are concerned about this academic slide and achievement for our students, and so we must address that as well.
Now, if people want to come to the board, parents want to come to the board meeting, it is open to the public, but with social distancing rules in effect, correct?
Yes, that's correct. So at our board meeting room on 500 East Ocean in the big school building, there is the live meeting that will take place. There is the microphone for public access, because we provide a public access microphone at all of our meetings or open to the public, and also practicing social distancing. So the chairs will be set, so social distancing. We prefer that people wear a mask. There is hand sanitizer available.
Okay.
And so that's available in the boardroom. But we also have been streaming our meetings. And so, www.martinschools.org and can give you the information about the link for streaming the meeting. And also, if you do not wish to come to make your live comment, you can submit your public comments to mcsdpubliccomment@martinschools.org, and they will address them. If there's not too many, we do read them in the public meeting, but if there's too many public comments, all of them are provided to the board members. So there's still an opportunity for the public to participate.
All right, very good. That's Martin County Schools Superintendent Lori Gaylord, and she joins us every time to give us an update on what's happening in the school system for Martin County. Lori, you've got your hands full, but as always, always above water. You're always swimming. You never sink. You always swim. And you make things happen, and I know you're going to make things happen again for the parents and the students as well of Martin County. Thank you so much for everything that you do.
Well, thank you, and you have a great week.
And you have a great week as well. 8:20, it's news time. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie is standing by. Good morning, Bonnie.
Good morning, Evan. Thousands of people came out Sunday across the state of Florida to celebrate Flag Day and President Donald Trump's 74th birthday. In Palm Beach County, there were parades of boats, trucks, and motorcycles. It was an event not just on the water or on the street, but also up in the skies. In Jupiter, several boats gathered at the inlet before heading south along the Intracoastal to Mar-a-Lago. Claiming the college athlete has been treated differently than the average student for too long, Governor Ron DeSantis has signed into law the Intercollegiate Athlete Compensation and Rights Bill. He stresses it doesn't pay athletes from a university.
They're still amateurs, but if EA Sports wants to do NCAA football, and they're going to have some of these guys who, are great players, and they're going to use their name, image, and likeness, then there can be some compensation for that.
The law doesn't take effect until July of 2021. The University of Florida has rescinded an admissions offer to a prospective student who posted a racial comment on social media. Florida's flagship university tweeted earlier this week that the prospective student will not be joining the University of Florida community this fall. The Gainesville Sun reports the source of the admissions offer being rescinded was an Instagram post of Cape Coral, Florida student made about 2 years ago. She posted a photo that referred to 2 black girls in her class with the caption, "I really try so hard not to be a racist person, but I most definitely am. There's no denying it." Last week, the school says it was looking into posts from other students. Hendry County deputies are investigating the fatal shooting of a Florida wildlife conservation officer. Deputies responded to the area of Apache Circle and Nobles Road in early morning hours of Sunday, June 14, to reports of someone being shot. They found 30-year-old FWC officer Julian King Jr. had been fatally shot. Keene was off duty at the time of the shooting. The Hendry County Sheriff's Office Major Crimes Unit is leading the homicide investigation with assistance from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. The investigators currently have 3 suspects in custody and are questioning them at this time. Anyone with information on the crime should contact Hendry County Sheriff's Office Major Crimes Unit at 863-674-0406. And lastly, the South Florida community continues to pay it forward with the bike from Steve's Ride for the Ride Cross. Wheels of Wellington donated the Townie Path bicycle to WPTV's chief meteorologist Steve Weagle's annual Ride for the Red Cross. That's a week-long event that raises funds for the organization as hurricane season begins. Every year, the bicycle from Steve's Ride is given away to the highest bidder. This year, longtime donor Mark Minkin won the bike by making a $2,000 pledge to the Red Cross. And instead of keeping the bike, Minkin donated it to the Best Foot Forward Foundation, which helps foster care youth. The foundation plans to give the bike to one of the students in its programs. This year, Steve Weagle's virtual Ride for the Red Cross raised more than $73,000 for the Red Cross. The Major League Baseball Players Association has rejected the league's latest proposal to resume the season and does not plan to submit a counteroffer, the union announced Saturday. On Friday, Major League Baseball submitted its latest proposal, which included a 72-game season to begin on July 14, with 70% prorated salaries for the regular season and 80% if the postseason is completed. News Time is 8:24. Weather and traffic together are next.
$8:25 on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. It's all brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
Traffic is looking very good this morning. We don't have any accidents, major highways, north and southbound. Directions are good. US 1 is looking good too. There's your latest look at traffic. We have 79 in Port St. Lucie, also 79 here in Stuart. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
It is a warm and humid morning here on the Treasure Coast with a few showers and thunderstorms possible mainly near the coast. This afternoon, scattered showers and thunderstorms are possible with higher rain chances closer to the coast. Any thunderstorm that develops could be strong and some rainfall could be heavy. High temperatures will reach the mid to upper 80s with increasing clouds during the afternoon and light winds out of the southeast. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
You're listening to the biggest little radio show on the biggest little planet, the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie.
8:29, the time on the Get Up and Go Show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time to head out to outer space in another place where Randy Siegel is standing by with the latest and greatest space report. Randy, good morning. Take it away, young man.
Good morning to you, sir. Well, back on this date in history, in 1971, the Air Force was able to launch the first Titan 3D vehicle. That was a vehicle that had a main stage, and then it had 2 solid rocket boosters. And it was highly successful in putting a new spy satellite into orbit. In 2010, the Soviet Union, or excuse me, the Russians, launched a Soyuz TMA-19 spacecraft. That spacecraft carried 3 astronauts, Fyodor Yurchukhin, Shannon Walker, and Doug Wheelock. Interesting is that Shannon Walker is married to an astronaut as well, Andy Thomas, from the United States. They took part in the 100th mission to conduct the International Space Station since the program began in 1998. Not bad. The astronauts on board the space station continued to have a little problem by smelling benzene. Benzene is a toxic solution that's used in experiments on the station, and they're trying to track it down. There's no threat because of the increase of the benzene in the atmosphere. However, they do want to know exactly what is causing that, and they're still on the hunt. The astronauts on board are getting ready for 2 spacewalks to take place, one on June 26th, the other one on July 1st, to replace a new group of batteries, getting rid of the obsolete nickel hydrogen batteries and replacing them with the more powerful lithium-ion batteries. Work will be carried out on supporting segment S6, that's the strut S6, to which the solar panels are attached. The battery replacement for the right side was accomplished last year and continued in January. The new batteries were delivered by the Japanese HTV spacecraft. The astronauts continue to do good work on board this station in other areas directing towards science. But 2 American astronauts who just flew to the International Space Station recently, Doug Hurley and Bob Behnken, described their flight on a Falcon 9 rocket, since they were the first ones to launch on it, as a very pure flying machine. They said that it sped their Crew Dragon spacecraft into orbit, but they were surprised by the rough ride, which was greater than anticipated on the powerful upper stage of that vehicle. They said they weren't prepared for that. And to quote one of the astronauts who said, "From the time the engine lit, the first 2.5 minutes to staging was about what you would expect, except you can never simulate the G's. So as the G's, that's the force of gravity, builds up, you could certainly feel those." He went on to say, "What I thought was really neat was how sensitive we were to the throttling of the Merlin engines that were really neat. You could definitely sense that we broke Mach 1. So you can see that different vehicles that astronauts fly, whether it's the Soyuz rocket, the Falcon rocket, the Space Shuttle, all have a different feel for the astronauts because they all have a different way of getting their astronauts into orbit. NASA has decided on who will run the space agency's human spaceflight program. Kathy Lauders has been named Associate Administrator for Human Exploration and Operations. She's the first woman to hold that post. She had been manager of the Commercial Crew Program since 2014, and she brings a wealth of knowledge to NASA for that particular position. She was working with Doug Bowersox who continues in his position with the agency, and he will now be her assistant. So a lot is going on to keep the space agency in the fold. NASA's Inspector General, however, found that former NASA Administrator Charles Bolden continued to use the services of an employee to manage his activities for almost 2 years after leaving the agency. The report summarized an investigation into allegations that Bolden's former executive assistants, or EA, continued to support Bolden after he left the agency in January 2017, including aiding Bolden's consulting business. So the Inspector General was rather harsh on his condemnation for what Charles Bolden had done. Astronauts who will be flying on the next generation spacecraft by Boeing, namely their CST-100, will have to practice on virtual reality for some time, since that spacecraft is not expected to be ready to fly astronauts until the end of this year at the earliest, probably early part of next year. They still have to conduct a second orbital test of that vehicle and then prepare it for flight. So VR seems to be the only way to go in these uncertain times. As far as the crew exploration vehicles go, and the ability to train astronauts to fly, they are not being hampered in any way by the COVID virus to some extent. While they're not able to use actual spacecrafts and move around as much, they're still able to go to Russia where necessary, and they're able to practice, including putting on their spacesuits and getting ready for a flight in the Boeing Starliner. So we're going to see that both Starliner and Dragon next year will be flying our own astronauts from American soil to the International Space Station. India will choose Russian equipment for its spacecraft. India wants to have its own indigenous spacecraft to fly Indian into space. The big problem that they had is that they don't have their own spacecraft completely. So what they're doing is they are going to be using some of the Russian space industry's work on their spacecraft. The Gaganyaan vehicle will be patterned after the Soyuz from Russia, as India hopes to be in space for their 75th anniversary, and that would be in 2022. So we'll have to keep an eye on that to see if it reaches fruition. The other day, when SpaceX flew its Falcon 9 rocket, placing Starlink satellites into orbit, it was very interesting what happened after that took place. The booster landed on Of Course I Still Love You, so it's able to be used another time. GoQuest and Finn Bagot carried the booster operations and were handled for landing. The fairing was recovered by Miss Tree and Miss Chiff. These are both ships that are owned by SpaceX, and the idea was to recover the fairings after they were ejected and not from the ocean. Well, they had to wind up recovering those from the ocean. However, they will still be able to be reused, and the boosters will allow them to continue being used and save money for SpaceX. Russia began transferring rocket parts to their Eastern spacecraft for the Angara program. Russia is anxious to use the Vazhny Space Center starting at the end of this year, if at all possible. Also, there was a failure that took place yesterday by the Momo Company. The actual name of the company, however, is Interstellar Technologies. They launched a rocket, the Momo 5, and the rocket got into space, but it didn't reach outer space. The vehicle, after reaching an altitude of about 11 kilometers, pooped out. And as a result, it tilted on its side, and then it was destroyed automatically for safety measures. So, a failed attempt. Lastly, Rocket Lab was able to launch successfully a set of payloads for the National Reconnaissance Office and 2 universities. So we congratulate them as they launched from New Zealand. Tomorrow we're going to tell you about the OSIRIS-REx and a little bit more about the payloads that SpaceX brought to orbit. So until then, have a great day, everybody.
That's your daily dose of space in another place with the one and only Randy Siegel. He's on the program each and every weekday at 8:30 right here on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. Time to head on over to Ellie's Downtown Deli, where Bonnie is standing by with the latest and greatest to soothe your appetite.
Yes, Evan, and a nice morning too at Ellie's. Enjoy a fresh roast beef sandwich today. Also on the menu, it's a chicken salad sandwich, of course, with fresh bread and that deli fresh chicken salad that you love. Or order up a Havana Harry by name. This one has maple glazed ham, Swiss cheese, pickles, and deli mustard pressed on an 8-inch hoagie. And of course, for dessert, you can take home some gourmet brownies or try some chocolate peanut butter pie. Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stuart now has their patio back open. Plus, they're at 50% dining inside with that full menu for pickup or delivery. Ellie's also has full dinners available for takeout, plus their fabulous desserts. We just mentioned some. Call 772-781-6605 to order and pick up today. They're located at 18 Southeast 6th Street. They're just off Colorado here in Stuart. Call 772-781-6605 for Ellie's Downtown Deli in Stuart.
8:41 the time right now on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. And it's time for the Precious Metals Report. It's all brought to you by St. Lucie Jewelry and Coin. Gold is opening up at $1,708.60 an ounce. And silver opening up at $17.03 an ounce. It's time for news right now. Let's go to the news desk where Bonnie's standing by with the headlines. Good morning, Bonnie.
And good morning to you, Evan. At least 7 Minneapolis police officers have quit, and another 7 are in the process of resigning, citing a lack of support from department and city leaders as protest over George Floyd's death escalated. Current and former officers told the Minneapolis Star-Tribune that officers are upset with Mayor Jacob Frey's decision to abandon the 3rd Precinct station during the protests. Demonstrators set the building on fire after officers left. Protesters also hurled bricks and insults at officers. Numerous officers and protesters have been injured. The Minnesota Department of Human Rights launched a civil rights investigation into the city's police department this month, and the FBI is investigating whether police willfully deprived Floyd of his civil rights. The department has faced decades of allegations of brutality and other discrimination against African Americans and other minorities. A majority of city council members support dismantling or defunding the department. Thousands of people came out Sunday across the state of Florida to celebrate Flag Day and President Donald Trump's 74th birthday. In Palm Beach County, there were parades of boats, trucks, and motorcycles. It was an event not just on the water or on the street, but the skies. In Jupiter, several boats gathered at the inlet before heading south along the Intracoastal to Mar-a-Lago. Claiming the college athlete has been treated differently than the average student for too long, Governor Ron DeSantis has signed into law the Intercollegiate Athlete Compensation and Rights. He stresses it doesn't pay athletes from a university.
They're still amateurs, but if EA Sports wants to do NCAA football, and they're going to have some of these guys who, are great players, and they're going to use their name, image, and likeness, then there can be some compensation for that.
The law doesn't take effect until July of 2021. And lastly, Hendry County deputies are investigating the fatal shooting of a Florida wildlife conservation officer. Deputies responded to the area of Apache Circle and Nobles Road in the early morning hours of Sunday, yesterday, to reports of someone being shot. They found 30-year-old FWC officer Julian Keene Jr. had been fatally shot. Keene was off duty at the time of the shooting. The Hendry County Sheriff's Office Major Crimes Unit is leading the homicide investigation with assistance from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Investigators currently have 3 suspects in custody and are questioning them at this time. Anyone with information on the crime should contact Hendry County Sheriff's Office Major Crimes Unit at 863-674-0406. On Friday, when a New York judge ruled a letter sent by Major League Baseball Commissioner Rob Manfred to the Yankees addressing the 2017 sign-stealing investigation must be unsealed. The ruling came when daily fantasy sports players filed a lawsuit against the league after revelations of the sign-stealing scandal involving the Red Sox and Astros. The Yankees argued the letter would cause significant reputational injury, but also said, "We're not doing this to cover up some smoking gun." There is no justification for public disclosure of the letter. Jonathan Schiller, a lawyer representing the Yankees, said in a statement to The Athletic, the plaintiff has no case anymore, and the court held that what Major League Baseball wrote in confidence was irrelevant to the court's dismissal of the plaintiff's case. The Yankees have until noon today to submit a minimally redacted version of the letter, which won't be unsealed until June 19. So this gives the team enough time for an emergency appeal if they wish, which The Athletic reported is likely. News time 8:46, and weather and traffic together are next.
$8:47 the time on the Get Up and Go show with Evan and Bonnie. It's time for traffic and weather together. All brought to you by Code Red Roofers. Bonnie?
The roads really have been nice and cleared all morning on this Monday, and it's remaining that way. We're not finding any accidents. The latest from FHP, your latest look at traffic. And in Port St. Lucie, it's 81. Here's our forecast at WPTV.
It is a warm and humid morning here on the Treasure Coast with a few showers and thunderstorms possible mainly near the coast. This afternoon, scattered showers and thunderstorms are possible with higher rain chances closer to the coast. Any thunderstorm that develops could be strong and some rainfall could be heavy. High temperatures will reach the mid to upper 80s with increasing clouds during the afternoon and light winds out of the southeast. I'm WPTV First Alert meteorologist Glenn Glazer on WSTU AM 1450, Martin County's Heritage Station.
Do you have a suggestion for the show? Send us an email, WSTUmorningshow@gmail.com. And now let's get back to the Get Up and Go show. Here's Evan and Bonnie.
$8:50 right now on the Get Up and Go show. Time to head on the Florida Turnpike all the way up to the home office, which is located in Yeehaw Junction, where it's now time for the world famous, say that with a capital W, capital F, it's time for Phil's Top 10.
Good morning, and thank you, Evan. And from the home office of Yeehaw.
Well, if you had one.
Yeah, that's
Okay.
true. After about a
Well,
week,
your
I don't.
goatee, I should say.
Yeah, there you go.
And number one word, crapple. And there's your top 10 list.
Crapple. That's a play off what you brought me for Saturday.
Yes.
They got me Snapple, by the way, to drink Saturday at the
Nice.
party.
The
Yeah.
Diet Peach Snapple.
No, I had raspberry.
Oh, that's good too.
Yeah.
They had
And
raspberry.
then your wife drank a lot of tea.
Yeah, she loves her sweet tea.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, she could have downed 2 or 3 of those half-gallon jugs.
Wow. Was it raspberry sweet tea?
No, just regular, good old-fashioned public sweet tea.
Oh, that is
Yeah,
good.
69 cents for a half gallon.
We have a gallon of it at home.
Yep.
It's good.
Really good
and
stuff.
then Evan had a nice icy cold Coca-Cola.
Yes, I actually indulge in a Coke.
How refreshing.
Which is very seldom that I drink Coca-Cola, but since yesterday was the last day of the diet,
yeah,
I didn't eat anything after what was it, Sunday. Rachel and I went out to get a bite to eat at we went to Sonic on the way back from West Palm, and we pulled into Sonic and got a couple of cheeseburgers, and that was it. We were, we had the tots and everything. Rachel had a milkshake, and we were done. Nothing else was needed.
But you had that last final
That was it.
treat.
That was the final meal.
Yeah.
Well, the final dessert was when I got home. I indulged in the rest of the cookies and cream ice cream.
Wow.
That was it. Got on the scale this morning, and I'm not going to divulge my weight, but it was more than what I wanted it to be. But it'll be less than I used to be in 30 days from now.
It's nice
And
that
then
you're
he had-
getting a start. Go ahead.
He had key lime pie at my house Saturday night.
Oh, that was so good.
Is-
yeah.
Not only one, but 2 slices.
Is that very fattening? Key lime pie?
Oh,
It's-
yeah.
It's still on the fluffy.
Yeah, your babushka
kinda
will weigh a
side.
little more.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Your babushka.
So, Phil, I have created my own top 10 list.
Okay.
I have a top 10 that I'd like to share with you.
This
if
is
I
a
could.
double header.
Yes, a double whammy. Okay. So from the home office of Port St. Lucie, Florida, where I reside. Top 10 signs you're turning into your father. Top 10 signs you're turning into your father. We all know we like to be like our dads. So here are the top 10 signs you're turning into your own dad. Okay, number 10, you finish the leftover food on everyone else's plate.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
Number 9, you don't like it when other people touch the thermostat.
Right.
Yeah, right.
Okay. Number 8, you love to mow the lawn. Now, some dads don't, but some dads do.
Yeah.
Okay.
Especially on that big, nice garden tractor, the John Deere.
Yeah, the John Deere. Number 7, you mute all the commercials.
My dad used to flip through them all, though.
Yeah. Number 6, you grunt getting up off the couch.
Yeah.
And you can hear your own dad's voice when you do that, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. Number 5, you fall asleep on the couch watching sports. Okay. Number 4, you tell your kids to, quote, go ask your mother.
I did it a lot.
Right? Number 3, you start telling, quote, dad jokes.
Mm-hmm.
Number 2, you fix things instead of just replacing them. And number 1, you start to take grilling very seriously.
Yeah.
Yes.
And there's your top 10 list of the signs you're turning into your own dad.
Bonnie, I like how he did the category like I do.
Right?
Uh-huh.
We have a
and
phone
then
call.
Explained it.
We have a phone call. So let's go to the phone right now. Hi, you're on the air with Evan and Bonnie. Who's this?
Good morning. I was calling with some condominium questions. Am I too early?
Yeah, you'll have to call after 9 o'clock. We're still doing the morning show unless you have a question for the morning show.
Yeah.
I don't. Thank you so much.
All right, thank you. All right, there we
She's
go.
waiting for Mark next with Condo Solutions.
Yeah.
But yeah,
It's
we'll
gonna be
be
coming up next.
airing that next for sure.
Yeah, just like we air our dirty laundry. That we do every single day.
She didn't want nothing to do with us.
No,
though.
she don't have nothing to do with us.
So, Evan, will you be coming up with more Father's Day episodes for us before
No, that's
the
it.
big
That's
day?
all. That's all you get.
Okay.
By the way, Friday's top 10 list. I'll give you a preview.
All right.
Really? Little
Yes.
tease?
I'll even give you the category.
Okay.
How's that?
All right.
It's top 10 least popular Father's Day gifts.
Oh, I
That's
may
gonna be
have
Friday.
I may have to double down with you on that one. I may have to double down with you on that one. Okay. You may have a run for your money, just so you know.
Okay.
You know. So what's
Well,
on
this
the
is from the home office. This isn't,
Okay.
a
All right.
survey.
All right. Well, I have my own home office, so I'll have to see if my home office can compete with your home office, and maybe I'll have my home office call your home office. And Bonnie,
Coordinated.
Bonnie, can we have your home office call Phil's home office, and then they'll call my home office?
What am I doing? Can we hear
what
some?
are you doing there?
We need some dueling banjos going on.
Yeah, right. And by the way, Bonnie, the home office is working on a top 10 list on you.
Oh, wow. Well, last week we had on G, right? And
Yes.
G's.
And we had one on Evan too.
We
the week
did.
before that.
So Bonnie, we saved the best for last.
We're gonna have to do one on Phil too, eventually.
Well, there is
here.
one on me.
There is one on
me
him.
coming up.
Yeah, there is one on him.
Yeah, but
He's going to roast himself.
it might be biased though, so you might have somebody else do it, but you can do your own. But
No.
somebody else has got to do one on Phil.
Yeah.
I
All
mean, just trying to play by the rules here.
Well, that's a wrap for today, for a Monday. Hey, Fredo, say goodnight, Fredo.
Good night, Fredo. Good night. Good
Fredo.
night, Bonnie.
There we
Good
go.
night.
All right. Say goodnight, Phil.
Good night, Phil.
Phil's out of here.
Have a good day, Phil.
Bonnie, as we always say, chow mein.
Honduras.
And Arriva Dirty, in the words of Ellen DeGeneres.
Be kind to one another.
Folks, have a great Monday. We'll see you right back here for the Tuesday edition of the Get Up and Go Show with yours truly and Bonnie right here on WSTU Stewart, where Martin County's Heritage Station. Bye-bye for now.